and being able to show you guys different aspects of the theologies that we've mentioned before. The listener is only so big, so I can't add all the gods and all the monsters that I would like to at all the times. You know what I mean? So being able to add other stories and side stories and stuff, you guys can see, like Lilith. Lilith comes into book 2 of Greed. A really well-known character, right? A lot of people know of her. You may not know the backstories, but you've seen her in other things. She's like a succubus queen, right? She's been around forever. And in our series, she runs the town basically where our characters live. So she's like Hades or Lucifer's sheriff in our town. She tries to keep shit neutral. She tries to keep people from doing things they're not supposed to be doing. But at the same time, she's harvesting souls for Lucifer, So that being said, that's like a neutral party, because we look at things like the natural order. Like souls are supposed to go to hell, souls are supposed to go to heaven, souls are supposed to go to Valhalla. We look at the things where they're supposed to go. The biggest issue in the listener series as we go forward is finding out that souls are going to the wrong places. What's causing them to go to these places. And as inquisitive as our 10-year-old character is, he's going to start getting sucked into things more and more. He survives this, he survives that, and all of a sudden he's a little bit braver, you know what I mean, that he probably ought to be. So, when situations come up, you've got like a 10-year-old that wishes he was Rambo, that knows no idea how to act like Rambo,
You mean what is the listener?
What is the listener? The listener is the listener is my first IP. It's a book about a dude that's loosely based on my great uncle Les. And thank you so much. It's basically about a character that realizes he inherits the ability to see and interact with the dead. And he becomes this neutral party in this war amongst gods and demons. So my wife, the best thing that my wife ever said about it was like the Frighteners mixed with Supernatural. The first couple seasons of Supernatural. Before we got all crazy with Supernatural, the first couple seasons, you know what I mean? And that's the best way I can explain it. It is a lot deeper than that, and it's really, really deep. But you can pick it up at thelistenercomics.com. You can hit me up on Facebook. I'm happy to answer questions about it. It's been a wild ride working on the listener. And there's shows all over the place, guys. Pop shows. You can actually pull up old videos on his channels and stuff, or on Comic Camaraderie to get like in-depth videos about the listener, because we're 30-something scripts in now, guys. I'm about to print. I'm working on a third book right now, printing the second book. And we've got Greed. So it's the thing about putting Greed out was a way for me to continue putting out product for you guys every month. So it was like, okay, so we got Greed that or the listener that's going to come out. The book will land for the backers. It'll be out in April, in people's homes in April. So then you've got Greed, which comes to Kickstarter on April 23rd. So the same time that that's getting started, you guys are going to get, those of you that backed it will get your physical copies of, When Winds Weep, which is the second book in the listener series. And a lot of people are like, hey, can you keep up the content of a book a month? There's no problem with that, I promise. There's no problem in the world with that.
Look, as long as there's people willing to work, and actually work, and they like getting paid, Dustin will have content for you.
That's right. We joked the other night, but we've had 18 employees so far. You know what I mean? It's not, and I don't consider the guys that are on our teams contractors. I don't like to look at our team like that at all. I think it's almost demeaning, because these guys are busting their asses. Guys and girls alike are busting their asses to make what my dream a reality. The least I can do is make sure that they know how much I care about them. You know what I mean? From any day-to-day period. And a bunch of those guys we've met in the madness. So right now with And when you ask questions like that, that's an awesome question, because that's one that I get frequently because of the amount of people that we bring into our series, right? If you go to the Listener Comics Facebook page, absolutely. So if you go to the Listener Comics Facebook page, I post job postings on there. I post what we're looking for. I always keep people up to date. I'm always putting cover projects up there so you guys can see it. There's all kinds of stuff to be seen. And it's not just the Listener that we do there. All the Greed stuff is on there. We always promote our artists on there. If they're doing projects, you guys can see that stuff there as well. The Comic Camaraderie stuff's on there. You'll see the Madness stuff on there. I mean, you just got to look. But what I do with our guys,
I gotta say right now, I appreciate everybody watching, because I'm looking and I see that RJ's live right now.
Sure.
Dark Gift Comics is live right now. I mean, there's streams everywhere.
Absolutely.
We got viewers, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. I mean, it's incredible to be able to touch so many people and to share our projects and our lives with you. It's an awesome experience. It gives me goosebumps. I'm a big old girl about it. You know what I mean? I'll be the first person to be like, oh man, that's awesome. But there's
so
something.
Since you're talking about your team, you want to
For
drop
sure.
some names and give them some
yeah, for sure. Let me get to this question real quick, and then I'll definitely drop names. So what I do is I look right at the beginning of each project. I do a project 2 months out. That's how we do it. So we're always ahead. So if we're looking for talent, it'll be posted there. And 9 times out of 10, and you guys may think it's crazy or not, but like I said, when my team is my family, they're real important to me. So even newer members get treated the same way. So what happens is these guys come in, they do a cover. Absolutely. They do a cover, and then I reach back out to them every time. Hey, do you guys want to go for another one? Are you ready for another round? Here's the script. What do you think? Do what you want to do with it. You know what I mean? And there's all kinds of cool stuff that we do with that. Same thing can be said for anything that we contract, art, promo pieces, anything like that. The only thing I don't do out of respect for my interior guys is I don't bring guests in the interior. I don't, because it's a very tight bond I have with our interior artists, and it's very special. So I do bring in artists for covers all the time, though. Like all the time. And everybody, if you get brought on once, chances are you're going to get invited back to do another one. Now, like right now, we've had Adam Fields, who's, big, famous, fun guy on the Madness. You know what I mean? He's good friends with Pops. And we'll do the Listener first so you guys can get an idea who's working on that project. So you've got Eric Viola, who was not a comic guy. He's a classically trained artist who does all our interiors. He also does covers. What I'll do is in a minute, I'll go through and I'll show you guys covers so you get an idea of what these guys are doing. But so we got Adam Fields, we got Eric Viola, we've got Gabriela Ramos, who's working on that. We've got ESK, who's doing lettering on that one. Man, who else? Mike DeBalfo did a cover for the Listener. We've got Manny Soto.
Marissa.
Oh my gosh, Marissa Pope. Yeah, we've got all kinds of folks. Gwen. I give props to Gwen all the time for putting up with my shit that I can never pronounce her last name. So Gwen, we got a lot of love for you. You know what I mean? So David Acampo does covers on the Listener. He does, all these guys are huge in my life. They're very important to me. They're awesome people. And then like when we get into Greed, I brought David over to do interior colors for Greed because I didn't have him to do them for the Listener because Eric handles his own colors. So it was like, as soon as we had a spot for David over here, we brought David over. Manny's huge with you guys in Mojo, right? So he's huge with Pops. So we were like, man, that seemed just to vibe real well, and he came in, started laying down lines, and David, brought the lines to life with him. And it's a beautiful concept.
I'm going to be honest. When I when I said you and Manny need to meet, I thought for sure he would be working with you on the listener and not something else.
Hey man, well, that's the wild how that works, right?
You know what I mean? Though it was like I was like, man, Manny, Shaman, you guys gotta meet, you guys gotta collaborate. But the last thing I thought it was gonna be was about a little demon and a little kid.
Yeah, it turned out to be such a cool project. But so we've got Manny and we've got David over there as the staples for the interiors. And Phil Leon.
This guy.
Hey, what's up?
And
somebody actually said he's alive for this show, right? No, he's late for this one too. Damn.
I am still recovering, man.
Phil is my editor for Greed, and we're really excited about that. He brings a world of knowledge to the project. And then not only that, but Phil's also coloring our, Rich Parada cover.
Phil's also just as on time as a guest as he is as a co-host.
Y'all are a mess. But not only do we have those guys, but we've got Frank Forty coming on to do a cover. You know what I mean? And Justin Hunt, as of yesterday, is coming on for Greed Book 2 to do a cover. These are all really talented cats, guys, like crazy talented people. And then you've got Marissa's coming back to do Book 3 for the listener. You've got Gabby coming back for Book 3 for the listener. So you're getting all these different types of talent too, like different types of talent. But the craziest thing about it is every one of these guys are superstars. Every single one of them. There's not a single person on our team that I guarantee that 90% of the people that see the book wouldn't pick up a cover from. I shit you not.
Does anybody feel like we're doing a replay of last night?
So now I'll bring up some titles some covers like I mentioned, so you guys can check them out. And we'll start with the listeners, so you guys get a cool idea of what we've got going on. All right, so this is Kyle Willis's cover for Book 1.
And I told you the other night, you were getting props on a completely different stream about this because somebody saw this in the madness.
I appreciate it. Yeah, this was an awesome cover that Kyle did. Just beautiful, beautiful piece. He painted that on a newspaper that was printed the day after Pearl Harbor. And it's been a blast with that one. Everybody enjoys that one. We've got Marissa's. This was Marissa's first cover for us guys. And it just came out stunning, right? Like, holy cow. Awesome piece. Gwen colored that one. That's one of the wins, one of our main characters, which is Neil. We had a lot of fun with that one. And let's see, we'll get Adam's trade dress. This was Adam Field's cover for the first book of the listener. Yep. Really cool stuff, guys. I mean, these guys are super, super talented. Follow them on social media, man. Look up Adam, look up Marissa, look up Gabby. This is Gabby's first cover for the listener. This is cover A. Just beautiful stuff, man. I mean, I could not believe how stunning these covers came out. I mean, it was just absolutely phenomenal stuff, guys. Let's see if I can't pull up some more. Oh, here's Eric's homage cover that he did for the listener Book 1. For Zeta cover. I couldn't have asked for a cooler cover. And his cover for Win the Wins Week is just as incredible, guys. Like, so talented. Everybody involved in this book. Let me see if I can find. There's the draft of that one. Hold on. So I've got. Let's see. Let me pull them up real quick. There's Gabby's again. So this piece, right? This beautiful, beautiful piece was the first image I ever got for Addie. Addie is the main character, the listener. I couldn't believe it when Eric sent it to me. That's the piece that we picked him to do our interior for.
Oh yeah.
just really, really cool stuff. There's Kyle's again, Adam's, Marissa's, the Virgin variants going through. Just really, really cool stuff. I didn't see Mike's in there. Hold on, I'll show you guys Mike's cover. It's got to be in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. So this is the Balfo's cover for the Listener Book 1. Beautiful piece, man. Like, Gwen colored that one too. Absolutely, absolutely stunning stuff. You know, and then like this, we got David, a compo. He started doing promo pieces for us. This was one of the promos he did for a later book of the Listener.
Oh yeah.
Just, man, when you guys start seeing David's stuff like in Greed, it's gonna blow your minds, right? This is also a promo piece for the Listener that he did. This is our take on the Chupacabra, because I wanted to update it and make it a little bit wilder than the goat sucker type of deal. But Greed. So let me see if I can grab When Winds Weep. Hold on, real quick. I'll pull that up, and you guys can check out some covers for that one. No, those are
you navigate your myriad of folders way better than I do.
So these are Marissa's covers for When Winds Weep, the campaign that just ended, book 2 of the Listener. And they came out just absolutely killer. Did I close my folder? Oh. So she's got the pink one, she's got a red one, and then we've got the Midnight Blue that was a Kickstarter exclusive. So, I mean, they just came out really, really good. It takes a long time for that background to pull up for some reason. But then David came back for book 2, and this is his cover for book 2, When Winds Weep. David Ocampo's cover. It's an homage to Turok.
That lighting is great.
Right? So much fun, man. So much fun. And this is Kyle's cover for book 2. So this is a store exclusive. And it was painted on a copy of a peace treaty between Native Americans and settlers. He added a couple other images on top of the treaty, and it's just awesome. Like, absolutely stunning stuff. And we've got David's promo work. These are promo posters, 11 by 17 posters that David put it together for us. Just awesome stuff, guys. I mean, absolutely awesome. This was the other promo poster we put out with When Winds Weep. That's Addie and Sonny.
I think that was the first one I've seen when I first ran into you guys, man.
Man, I mean, it was just phenomenal. I mean, this is Adam's cover for book 2. I fell in love with that cover. Like, it was just, the minute he sent it to me, I was like, man. And then we did the variant for inked marketing, guys. And this is the variant, the spiritual realm variant for inked marketing. Really stoked about how that came out too. Just beautiful, beautiful stuff. And then here's a interior for that one you guys can check out. Love that piece.
Oh, cool. That's one I haven't seen, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. So we in book 2, When Winds Weep, we get into the spiritual realm. We start pulling it real heavily. These are some panels out of that book. I mean, I've not seen anything like what we're doing. You know what I mean? It's very original stuff, guys. If you're into the supernatural stuff, if you're into Native American theology or theology in general, the Listener is definitely a fun book to pick up. Getting into Greed, this was one of Manny's first concepts for Cade, and Cade is one of our main characters in Greed. He's the monster under the bed, and this was what David did to it. Blew my mind. Like, it's insane to watch. Like, we were just talking to inkers yesterday, right? It's insane to watch how people can bring things to life in different ways.
Yeah, definitely. And those were, man, that was fun talking with those guys, man. Such experience. They've been they've been around for a while doing that stuff, man.
Right on, dude. And it was so cool. This is actually page one of the listener for Greed, book one. This was an early concept that we put together. Just so you guys can see some of the cool background of how a comic is done, right? So these are the things that you get from your penciler. You send him your script, he sends back some doodles, then you guys figure out where there's one of my doodles. Um, then you figure out what you've got going on, right? Like people come in and you go toe to toe and you talk about what you're doing. You figure out how you want to move things around or whatnot. Here's that page finished. This is page one before it goes to the letter room. And it's quite a different type of thing to see. I mean, because now we've changed his positioning. We've changed Cade's positioning there to show that he kicked a can that was on the floor. We're showing off all these fun different aspects that are going on. We've still got panels, so it's an interesting way of doing it.
Hey, Dustin, here's a question for you, man.
Absolutely.
Somebody wants to know, are most of the comics you do in the realm of horror?
Man, everything I do is hard. And it's not that I can't write other stuff, right? It's that when the listener came out, and a bunch of you guys have heard this story before, but the listener came from, the death of a family member of mine. So it literally came from a eulogy that was written, is what we started the listener out of. And, I could do superhero stuff, I guess. I could do a lot of stuff like that.
Supernatural and horror is such a fun area to go into.
Absolutely. I'm big into that. Man, you guys can just talk to Pops. Pops will hook you up, man. Just reach out to him. But yeah, I push myself, guys. So if there's there's action, Phil, you've read my stuff, Phil. There's action. Pops has read it. There's action, there's drama, there's horror.
Right, yeah. It's it's multi-genre.
Right. It's religious. There's so many different ways to I really couldn't place myself in a genre in the listener would probably be horror, right? I appreciate that. The listener would probably be horror, but once you get into Greed is like that book, right? Like if you go to read the X-Men, okay? The X-Men has so much history behind it, right? The listener is like that. Like the listener is a very deep book. So when you pick it up,
building the lore, basically.
Right. So I suggest you read, book one before you go into book two of the listener. You know what I mean? But Greed is a book that you could pick up and be like, this is badass at any given point. You know what I mean? It's literally like a really fun book, a fun entry in what we've got going on that, anybody could pick it up and enjoy it. One of the fun things about the listener is I make it accessible. That's a great word for it. I make it accessible for people to be able to enjoy it. I put a different spin on religion. And since Greed is in that world, all that stuff ties together. So we joke about the fact that if you were to step over into the spiritual world in our book, you could So you could literally see, how's it going, team? You could see
it must be bedtime.
There you go.
Camera. They want to get some camera time, man.
Absolutely. So if you were to look, if you could see Vegas from my house, okay? If you walked into the spiritual realm, you could see Vegas. Vegas would be Hades or Hell or Helheim or however you want to put it, right? Versus if you could see New Jersey would be Valhalla, okay? So if you went to Jersey, you'd be able to walk across the Bifrost to go to Italy, and in Italy are the gates of heaven. So all these places exist in one realm in my world. It wouldn't be out of the stretch of imagination to see Thor fighting Hercules in my books. You know what I mean?
I like that culmination of different philosophies, and taking those different philosophies and taking a different take on them, or the
I appreciate that
blend of them all.
Well, I just finished writing a fight scene between the Sin Wrath, the god Kukulain, and Lilith just this morning. So, I mean, we meld all these things because in our world they all exist. You know what I'm saying? The difference that we try to show with people and what makes a god powerful or what makes, a demon powerful or whatever is the fact that back in the day, names used to give power, right? If people worshipped you, you were powerful, and that's how we look at it in the listener. Like if a god is not worshipped anymore, they're not really such a powerful god.
Fade away. Yeah, their powers fade. Yeah.
Right. So, like, Cuchulainn minds his own business because the Celt gods are not worshipped like they used to be. He's normally not one to be in the affairs of, the larger scale of things. Versus Odin or, God, you know what I mean? They don't get involved at all because they're above such things. You know what I'm saying? Why would they be involved? So it's there are cool things going on, like the tit for tat with Lucifer and Hades, and all that stuff comes into play. We're like I mentioned the other day, one of the fun ones that we're writing about right now in editing and getting ready to actually put in the book is the chupacabra stuff. Addie's going to go to this village and he's trying to figure out what's going on in Mexico with this chupacabra, why it's killing people, because there's spirits that have reached out to him to ask for assistance for their families and whatnot. Then we've got like Llorona, La Llorona, Lady in Red. Well, we make her the Lady in Green because I do some gnarly stuff with her and make her a lot scarier than the old school stories. But we write a whole mini story for you guys about this young girl that lives on her farm that gets kidnapped by this monster in the middle of the night and taken to this woman who's literally just devouring them, out in the woods. So one of these young children's spirits goes to the listener and asks for assistance, help us, deal with this. We're stuck here, So, I mean, Greed and the listener both are incredibly fun, satisfying reads. Like you're never going to be bummed out that you just read 24 pages of a book of mine.
And there's substance there, man.
Right on. Absolutely. Well, we try to teach with it too, right? I don't do that so much with Greed, but with the listener, I try to educate a little bit while we're talking about things and we're going through things like PTSD. You know what I mean? We try to educate people on PTSD, how alcoholism affected certain groups of people, during World War II and those time periods, how racial tensions were in those times, and what Native Americans were going through, what other groups of people were going through, how we were trying to better ourselves even then. You know what I mean? We were trying to better ourselves. So I think that it's a very powerful message wrapped up in a terrifying world. I mean, Pops has read it. He had to read it twice. So
had to read it twice before I could talk with him about it. Okay, because he hit me up after he sent it to me. He's like, "Hey, man, what you think?" I was like, it's kind of. I have to get back to you on that after I read it.
He had to think on it a little bit.
I had to think on it a little bit. I absolutely, and I appreciate
digest all that good stuff in there, man.
Well, I mean,
sorry if I've been a little bit distant for the last couple minutes, but I was in the middle of some serious marketing.
I'm with you. I love serious marketing. That's good stuff, man. I'm glad you're doing serious marketing. We
we're gonna do a heavy metal panel next month. We need somebody who's heavy metal but loves comics, so I just sent a message to D. Snyder.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go big or go home, baby.
Right, do it. I'd love to see.
Not exactly all heavy metal, but
so
come on, man.
You get I'm
not talking about heavy metal magazine.
I know, man. That's why I said you gotta make the distinction there.
Well, there's a piece and that we've seen recently. Hey Phil, do you have that cover you're working on? Did you get that file?
I had just checked the group chat and seen it in there, but I have not. I've got to check my email. Like I said, I'm still recovering from the weekend.
Gotcha. So Rich Parada guys did this stunning cover for Greed, and if I can swing it, I'll keep Rich Parada on Greed forever. You know what I mean? Because It's a beautiful, beautiful cover. Let me see if I can grab it real
And
quick.
he's such a easy guy and fun guy to work with.
Oh man, just a stand-up individual, right? Like, holy cow! Here we go. He's just a really cool dude, man. And in this world, this day and age, it's refreshing to find cool people, right?
Definitely.
Check this out. Like,
I know. I'll have to say though, working in comics, all the time that I have so far, man, I don't think I've worked with or collabed with any group that wasn't just really cool people, man.
Absolutely.
They've helped me keep my sanity through all this time working in comics.
Right on. Well, I'll say this. I'm thankful for the people I've had associations with so far. But so check this stairwell out, guys. I mean, he took our spiritual realm idea and concept and literally turned it on its head. It's a really, really cool concept. Like, just a beautiful piece. Highlights all three main characters that are in the first book. And then, we're going to get Phil to color it. I'm stoked. I can't even begin to, explain how cool I think that is.
I'm stoked too.
I mean, oh my gosh, man. I mean, it's one thing to see as a creator, right? And for anybody that's new or interested in comics, don't do it if you don't have your whole heart into it, right? You got to have your whole heart in. Be there. Every bit of you's got to be for it, But when you do, it's such a rewarding experience because when you see something that you've created and then other people are putting their hands on it and making it even more amazing than you thought it would have been original, it's such an experience. It really is. It's something to be said about, the world and how the talent that these guys have. There you go, Metal Cult.
It's not so much as people. I'm looking to focus on people who have like
work in comics tracks. That work in music.
Bill, you never let me finish a damn sentence, dude.
Well, I gotta squeeze it in, or I can't between. Yeah, go ahead, man.
This here doesn't say Phil. Check out Metal Cult. Okay? Let me respond to the dude, please. So it's not so much like I'm trying to, get metal people. What I'm looking for is people who have tracks, music tracks, metal tracks with their crowdfunding project. They're giving away a vinyl as a stretch goal, stuff like that. I want to highlight these guys next time in the final panel and get people, let them listen to their music and stuff. And if I can get somebody like D. Snyder out here who loves comics to critique on their music too, or give them some props, I'm gonna try to do that, bro. That's what I'm trying to do here.
Didn't D. Snyder actually write for a couple comics, man? Do I remember hearing something?
Dude, he's a huge comics fan. This is designed perfectly.
Yeah.
To entice him to come hang out. It's like the last thing I need is somebody go, man, he's not metal. Come on, dude, help me out here. We're trying to bring people to the show.
So, if we could get anybody, Phil, if we could get anybody to do, you've definitely pulled your pick. But if there was somebody, I'll broaden that horizon. Okay, I'll broaden that quite a bit. If there was anybody you guys could see doing a cover on one of my books, either IP, who would you like to see?
I already told you.
Yeah, I already did yours though.
No, I said I already told you who I like.
For sure. I got that one right on. I'm gonna work on that one.
I made it my goal in 2021 to get this dude published. He's never been published. He's amazing.
Me, if I was to say Simon Bisley. Simon Bisley would do a really cool thing, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. People like that. That's who I want to bring to the final panel in April. Polito's coming back to do a spot. It's going to kind of be, we're going to try and light this up. It's our anniversary show, man. So, yeah, I want to have a jam. I want to have a party. I want to have a good freaking time, baby.
Right on. It's so we've got a couple ideas that have floated around. I've got like 3 or 4 different projects I've got that are going besides Screed. You know what I mean? With Greed, with the Kickstarter going live on the 23rd of April, we're also going to push past, as soon as, like I mentioned earlier, if we get in your listener books as soon as, they come in, that'll coincide with, the Kickstarter for Greed. All right. So then as soon as the Greed Kickstarter is done, you guys will start seeing the stuff coming up for the next listener Kickstarter. And when that goes to drop, you'll be getting your book from Greed. You know what I mean? So we're having a lot of fun with that. I'm not doing soap with Greed. So a lot of people are like, well, what kind of soap are we getting? Not doing soap with Greed. I feel like it would be grimy and like moldy if it was for Greed.
Yeah.
I'm thinking with Greed, you'd need to send some kind of deodorant just to help that out.
Right on.
Greed, you'd get a mold culture encased in acrylic. I don't know.
An air freshener or something. You could make a little Greed air
what
freshener.
I wanted to do? I tried so hard to get it, but I couldn't find anywhere that would print it for me. And it's going to sound silly because, we know a bunch of printing companies, but I couldn't find anybody that would print me a cover that had the old. You remember the blood covers where you could push the cover a little bit and the liquid would move around in the cover?
Oh yeah.
I wanted to do like a green goo on the cover for Greed, and I couldn't manage to make that happen. But I'm still gonna try. Eventually, it'll happen.
We don't talk about Fight Club,
right? So with the soap, man, it was like I didn't think of doing a cover with it. It was just a lot of fun, and it was just another way to break that fourth wall. You know what I mean? To bring you into that much closer. Just like when we go down and get tattooed. A bunch of us are getting listener tattoos, and we're doing it live. You know what I mean? Just another way to break the fourth wall, to bring you guys in and show you a little bit more.
Cade, Crom.
I'm with you. It's super fun, man. The concept stuff with Crom and Cade are really funny. You know what I mean? It amuses me to the point where I was writing about that this morning. So it's a really fun concept. There's a lot of stuff going on in the background. Like I said, I've still got Road to Sin. I'm writing. I'm trying. Right now, I'm working on a business plan for Road to Sin because I can't take Road to Sin to Kickstarter. I just can't do it. It's a much too large a project for me to put it out like that and market that way for that piece of for that type of product. You know what I mean? So because for those of you guys that don't know, Road to Sin is a tabletop RPG that I've been writing my ass off on, and we did some beta testing with some fans. That was a lot of fun, like a lot of fun. We did those live. Those was a really good time with the fans. They loved that. They got to hang out because we didn't get cons for the longest, right? We're just now getting to do cons again, So being able to invite the fans on and have them talk to team members and hang out, shoot the shit for a while, it was a good time. And like I said, they got to beta test the game and whatnot. Yeah, the dice that came with Road to Sin, man.
I knew that was in there somewhere still.
Right on, yeah, the bone dice for sure.
I dug those, man. Those are cool.
Right. They came out beautifully, those dice, man. And those are going to be offered with the Road to Sin, the campaign game and whatnot. I'm working on, figures. I'm working on maps. I've got a couple maps already done. We had some really nice maps done, actually. I think one of the maps is actually in the stuff that you guys have got. But we worked on maps. We've worked on the story. The story's all good. I've got 2 or 3 different campaigns set up. All the character design, classes are done. Abilities are done. So it's just now it's a matter of funding that particular project, because funding a comic book is very different than funding a $50,000 game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm trying to get all that together to take to the bank and show how well the Kickstarters are doing for the IPs and whatnot, so we can be like, hey, look.
Have you thought of?
No.
I don't know shit about this kind of stuff, but I know if you're trying to get people to invest, you maybe offer them a small piece of the pie.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I have a guy, and we'll talk about it live because it amused me.
No, I'd rather talk about it in private if you know what I'm saying.
Ruh-roh. All right, I'm down for that too. So Anyway, I had a really cool time with the fans that came on and played with us. They had a great time. They enjoyed it. They got to see the game. The game is based on a D10 system, and it's very simple. The rules for the game are simple, and I enjoy that because I think when we got to fifth edition, it got to be complicated for people. D&D got complicated, and I don't think D&D should ever be complicated, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
so,
still a 2E kind of guy.
right. So simplifying it like almost like easier than Pathfinder, was the way that I wanted to do it. I wanted anybody to be able to pick it up and have a good time. One of the most interesting things about Road to Sin is it ties up loose ends in stories. So if we were writing about a character in the listener, right, exactly, knock that dice over. So
Do that
let me
again.
roll that dice. So if you were looking at a character in the listener and you read about them a little bit in Greed, but they've not shown up for a little bit, they're probably in Road to Sin, and that's one of the cool things. I always hated, like we use Spider-Man for example, because I'm a huge fan. It's one of my biggest collections in my own personal collection. I always hated when it would be like, well, this happened to this is why this guy's doing this. Well, we don't know why. You just gave us 2 panels, and now all of a sudden, these characters with these beautiful backgrounds, these luscious stories, we're only getting 2 panels. I want to know what else is going on in the world. What's going on with this guy? What's going on with that guy? Why did you just decide to take Peter out today? You know what I mean? What spurred this on? You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the X-Men. I mean, you've got a million awesome X-Men characters. What are they doing? What's going on in this guy's life, or that guy's life? Who's he fighting? So I wanted to make sure you guys had an outlet for those other stories, and you'll be able to write your own. So good. David's work is stunning, man. I mean, above and beyond stunning type of stuff. But so for Greed, we're avoiding the goo, or not avoiding the goo. We're avoiding the soap, because I'll bring soap back with the listener. I've had some really cool smells come my way that I've seen recently from the company that's making those for us.
Okay, I think I thought of something, man.
Oh gosh.
You're talking about the goo thing.
Uh-huh.
Remember the old things of slime that you used to be able to get?
Uh-huh.
And there was even like the glow in the dark slime.
Uh-huh.
There maybe something to do with that.
So when I say great minds think alike and great team members of ours think alike, that's our add-on. It is slime for Greed.
Yeah, our kids make that stuff, man. They
Right.
have a recipe for making it.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
All over the house. It gets stuck in the dog's fur.
Right.
I hate that stuff.
So this is more along the lines of what we used to get as kids. It was called gack.
Yeah,
Yep.
Gak, same thing. Yeah.
Well, gack had a texture to it. It was
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it didn't like get caught in the damn carpet.
Right. So you could literally peel gack off of stuff. You know what I mean? And so that's what we were going for. You guys wait to see these cool little containers that you get it in, and they'll have the cool logo. You know what I mean? Yeah, come on, guys, we'll hang out. There's all kinds of fun stuff to be done with Greed because it's such a different type of story. It's an easier to write story. There's a lot more mystery in Greed though than there is the listener. I'll say that. I think because the whole time you're wondering why this child is the only child that we know of with X monster under the bed. You know what I mean? Or how can he see the monster under the bed? Versus normal people that can't. There's a lot of mystery behind the characters and a lot of building that we're doing with them. Why does this particular monster care if this kid gets, smashed by a Minotaur demon? Why is the Minotaur demon in his room? There's all kinds of really cool stuff going on. The fight scenes are big, the laughs are big, the gore is big. It's a lot funnier than the listener. I don't think I have any comedy in the listener, to be honest with you. But we're as a team, though. I think there's a bond. Everybody's really enjoying it. Everybody's enjoying the panels they're putting down, the covers that are coming out, and there's not, like I mentioned earlier, it's like when you buy alcohol, right? You have well drinks and then you have top shelf. Okay,
Right.
It's all top shelf, man. It's all top shelf. And I'll say that about the road show as well and Inked Marketing. It's all top shelf, and I think that's awesome. We're on a bunch of shows with those guys because of those guys.
Got some Patron up there, man.
That's right, man. And that's the most important part.
I don't know. I don't know much about drinks. I know Patron is
Cabo,
top shelf.
brother. If we're
Cabo.
going tequila, we're going to Cabo.
All right. So, but it is all top shelf, guys, man. Like I said, you guys see Phil a lot. Phil's top shelf, man. You guys see Pops a lot. Pops is top shelf. There's a lot to be said about the teams. Not only the teams, though, the product we're putting out. And not just the story, not just the art, but the actual book when it's in your hands, is amazing. We make sure that we're putting out the best quality we can put out. I actually had one of Pops' copies of the book right over here, actually, which has got to go out in the mail this week, along with William Pace's copy. But I mean, they're just.
Oh, man, you keep doing this to me. Look, y'all, that's a Marissa Pope.
Uh-oh, where are you, William? Chime in.
What?
Also, yeah, that's DeBalfo's cover all day for.
Oh, that's the
Yeah.
The
Ball, the dang, diggy.
Right.
Yeah, he's one of them names I just trip over every time, man. It's like,
well, I mean, the fun thing about Marissa is, she's like his heir to art. You know what I mean? So, we're getting to show you guys all kinds of fun stuff. Will's getting a Adam Fields cover, which I have over here too.
Say, I'm surprised I don't see Will chiming in the comments tonight, man.
he's got a show.
Oh,
He's got a
okay.
show. Everybody's
Yeah,
got a
that
show.
one. I love that cover.
Suddenly, everybody's on Monday night.
So we're getting to show you guys some cool stuff. We're getting to do some cool stuff. I mean, I can't tell you how grateful I am for everybody involved. From the madness to everybody else's shows to the love we've gotten from everywhere in this business.
Well, I'm honored to be involved, man. I'm having a good time, dude.
I appreciate that, man, because it was like you come in and like I joke about being the little fish, like a lot, because that's what it feels like. You walk, you flop into this. It's like what's that movie, Finding Nemo, right?
Yeah.
When they're in the bags. They're in the bags. They've been in there, the fish tank in the dentist's office, right? That's what it's like. So you're in the fish tank office. That's your life, right? That's where you live. Like 10, 15, 20 folks. They dig the book. It's great. But all of a sudden, for some reason, you follow all kinds of your buddies that are like, hey, dude, jump out that window in your bag. You know what I mean? So you jump out the window in the bag.
Yeah.
You land in the ocean. And now all of a sudden it's like there's a lot of fish in here.
Yeah.
So it's basically like I said, if you're going to come into this business, you need to come in with all your heart. You need to come in with all you got, because there's a lot of dudes and dudettes out there that have got mad talent that you're up against.
You gotta have a passion for it, sure.
Absolutely. It's not like they're against you. Don't look at it like that. You have to understand, you're still got to do you. You know what I mean? In this massive
We're all
world
just
of
swimming,
talent.
man. We're all just
Right.
swimming.
All just swimming. But you better be
Every
a bigger
other creative
prettier-
out there is another fan base that you can bounce off.
That's right.
You have to play it right. You go to this guy, you're checking out all his fans, and you go, yeah, man, I think my stuff will my stuff will mess with these people. You don't go right out on his page and start promoting your stuff. You go, hey, man, we could have something that bounce off each other, man.
So we've got a postcard coming up. We've got a postcard for Greed that's coming up. And the only way you'll be able to do it, to get this postcard that is badass, is to also back Killaroo, which is a really, really cool book, guys. I mean, holy cow. So when I saw Killaroo, I immediately thought of Tank Girl. And he gets that all the time. He was like, everybody says that. But that's what I felt like. That's my generation. It was just a cool concept to me. And that's a compliment coming from me, because I love that. You know what I mean? The movie was wild. I love the book. So, but if you back his stuff and you back my stuff, you'll get an awesome postcard. Done with both our characters on these two postcards. And the only way to get them is to back both. I'm really excited to be able to work with him on that. They're in Australia. I guess the kangaroo gives that away. The giant marsupial whooping everybody's ass in that book. So I dig it. It's a lot of fun.
And
Uh,
you get a chance to support two creators at
Absolutely.
once.
It's a win-win, man. It's a win-win. And you don't pay for that, okay? It's not like it costs you. As soon as you just back the two books and you get your two postcards. So I'm really excited about working with those guys because Greed is such a fun ass book, man. To watch this little dude talk shit to these giant monsters and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
it amuses the hell out of me. You know what I mean? Because you got like this giant.
Little impish action going on
Right,
there.
right. He's shooting the bird to this giant minotaur. The
Yeah.
minotaur's like, "Are you kidding?"
Yeah.
You know, you're like minuscule to me, dude. And like I said, the storyline gets really interesting. Like, why is he there? Why does this minotaur show up in this young dude's room? What's the deal and all that stuff. One of the cool things that we brought back with us over from the listener is splash pages. I'm a real big fan, guys. Like, real big fan. I also brought back we call it like the listener trademark. Okay. The last page of every book is a cliffhanger that I enjoy doing. I design the panels. I design all our panels. But then these guys, tweak them, bring them to life, make them super good. But the last page of every book, you can guarantee I was all over it 100% because I feel like that's such a drive. The last page of book one of the listener wasn't even in it till like a week before print. It wasn't even in the book, and it was just everybody was like, "Man, are you ready? Are you ready? You've got to do it. Give it everything you got." Next thing you know, I've got this badass page. It's got the first time you see spirits in the listener world, and they're all sitting around playing cards, and it was just such an awesome, awesome panel. One of the cool things about the listener and being able to see the dead is unless they're noble spirits, he's seeing how they died. Like, so they're walking around dismembered or at that time period hung, all kinds of crazy, crazy stuff, and like I said, with that time period where we were laying trains and stuff, doing all kinds of wild shenanigans, people died, laying trains. So you've got people that are walking around with train injuries and just all kinds of cool stuff. And it really shows Eric's skill level. You know, I really enjoy working with him. So it's fun, right? Like everything about what we're doing as a team, as a group, promotions, cross promotions, being able to give you guys stories that cross the line enough to be, I don't know, I don't want to say edgy because that sounds kind of weird. But it's like it gives you guys stories you don't get. Original IPs. Nothing that we work on is rehashed. I promise, and I think that's a lot of fun. I don't like recycling product, so trust me. If I use a panel and I accidentally use it twice, best believe somebody on the team is going to say, "Hey, look, we did that like a couple pages back. Don't do it." You know what I mean? It's a really interesting thing to work with people that are so talented and can see your vision. You know, and it's all a labor of love, man. It's just such a cool product. It's every time we turn around, we're adding more and more to it, and we're also being able to, like I said, bring people jobs. Right in this day and age, you want to be in the comic industry. For us to be able to support our teams, that's the most important thing to us. As long as we're getting our product out there, we're paying our employees, we're paying the teams, everybody's good. And I think that's an incredible message, because you see all these incredibly talented people come out in the world now and they can't get jobs, right? There's so many people that can't get jobs but they're incredibly talented. They get stuck doing these, I have to do it for free thing because that's the only way I can get my name out there. And you don't. There are people out there that want to hire you. There are people out there that want to make sure that your talent is seen, and Pops is one of them. Phil's another one.
I want to see all of you guys published. Like I said, I see somebody like Martin. I've been posting his streams forever, man, and it's like I had no idea that he had never been published. And when he told me, I was like, oh, no, we ain't, that ain't gonna fly. This dude's too good. I'm gonna get him on somebody's cover. It's like
I would suggest if you're starting out, I mean, yeah, you gotta get your foot in the door kind of thing. It's the catch-22. You need something in print, but then you got to get the gig to get something in print.
It is. It's really that the quid pro quo to it.
At least even at the even at the starting tier, man.
Right on.
Have confidence in your work and that it's got a value, and at least get copies if you're getting in those first books and you're just trying to get your foot in the door.
For sure. I think that it's very important right now, and it's going to sound strange for those guys that haven't been published and stuff. But like right now, we've got ICC coming up in Nashville. It's April 16th to 18th. We'll be there. You know what I mean? I suggest you guys book shows. You may not get to be in big booths. You may not get to be, amongst your A-listers and stuff like that. But
get you an Artist Alley table. You're not going to have to spend as much for the tabling. Yep. Retailers pay more. They're cool with the Artist Alleys because they know how it is on us, man.
That's right.
And get some prints together that you've got, or do some commissions while you're out there, man. Just put stuff out there, man. Let people see what you got going on.
And on that note, with shows, we've also got South Beach Comic Con. We're going to be at in May, and that's Memorial Day weekend. That's going to be a lot of fun down in Bradenton, Florida. I'm excited about that one too. But you guys gotta book in advance. Book your shows, because like I said, it's a big ocean of talent, man. And you know what? Just because people are cordial and they like you and they're kind to you, they're still trying to get where you want to be. Everybody's trying to climb that ladder, man. So you got to be out there. Do what you got to do. Absolutely. I'm sure you could, man. I'm with you, And like I said, we do another cool thing that we do, and everybody can vouch for me personally when I do it, is...
I have another fill up here.
They've cloned me. Oh, no. That's what I need. That's exactly what I need. A clone, man. I need somebody to take on some of the stuff, man.
So if you look at the listener Facebook page, you'll see some people like Oscar, and the fact that Oscar's doing trading cards for us right now for the listener, for all the physical backers for Win-Wins, they get their trading cards. But Oscar's never been published. We're publishing some of Oscar's work for it. Manny, when Manny first got with me, he sent me promo work. He was like, "Hey, here's some cool ideas from promotions. I love the work you're doing." And that was one of the things that, it sucked me into his style and his talents. If you want to get seen, Artex, just sent us a logo, like out of the blue, and it was awesome, right? Just sent us this crazy logo. If you want to be seen, sometimes you got to go out of your comfort zone in your box a little bit. If you want to get in on one of our compilation books, we're doing Gee's Journal right now, where we're putting all kinds of people's work in there with Gabby's, and showing it off and showing these indie artists off. Shoot me a message, man. People joke about fan art, man, but fan art will get your foot in the door. Put it together. And I had 16.
That's how some artists have been approached by some of the bigs, man, is because they're doing fan art and they caught on, and somebody came up to them and said, "Hey, we like what you're doing. You want to come on the team?"
Right on. And it's so prevalent, right? So I told these guys, if you want to be, I have a 10-year-old boy, not joking about my book, but I have a 10-year-old boy, Jordan Holloway's son, who sent me some artwork and was worried about never getting published. He wants to be an artist and all kinds of other stuff. And it was like, cool, let's put him in the book, right? Let's show him some love, because his dad's a good dude and they promote our stuff. Let's get the kid in the book. And I'll do that for folks, man. You guys got to understand, don't be scared to reach out to people, because there are plenty of people out there that want to help you.
Yeah, I'm an artist. Hand up, because we're all in that position.
Right, we're there, and it's a terrifying ship to be in if you're there steering it by yourself.
Yeah.
So like I said, go in with all your heart, give it all you got. Get with the guys that want to help you, Push yourself and find a team of people that you can grow with. I'm blessed in a way that I knew people that were awesome artists that I could work with for the most part, right? And then when it came, except for Eric, I'm so thankful I met Eric. But so like when we got into Greed, it was a different animal altogether. It was like, hey, who do you want to work with? Versus, hey, I'm finding people to work with. You know what I'm saying? It's a very different experience. Once you get your foot in the door, the game is a little bit different. You know what I mean? You just got to get noticed. Put your work in. It's not easy work either. No bullshit. It's hard. I work all the time. You can ask these guys. I work all the time. Like all the time I'm working. And it's like, just to be noticed. I'm on social media everywhere, talking, seeing if people are paying attention. Don't forget my book. This is what I'm working on. Hey, have you guys seen this recently? Please pay attention. You'll enjoy it, I promise. Just give it a look. These small nuances of things, because sometimes that's all it takes, right? Well, sometimes it takes just one dude or chick to see what you got put together, and all of a sudden your shit blows up. You know what I mean? It's like the herp at prom night, right? All of a sudden you're everywhere, and it's awesome. Not that I want anybody to get the herp at prom night. Shouldn't be doing anything during prom night. But
I'd like to say I hope that sometime in the future I can say that people bouncing their stuff off what we do here helps their success, but I can't say yet because it doesn't work for everybody. I mean, there's some people that come here and they do really well, like William. He loves the madness. He loves the madness because people buy his book. I wish I could say that would happen for every single person that comes out here. I can't guarantee that. All I can do is tell you that I'm going to try and make your book as successful as anybody else's.
So,
they're all little cogs, and you've got to pick up that flag and run, man.
Absolutely. Well, like
or baton, whatever.
With the listener, I did it all by myself. Okay, the first book. Outside the team, all the marketing was me, all the everything. You know what I mean? And we had a goal of $2,400, and everybody said it was crazy for a first book. I made like $2,600.
Why would people say that's crazy for a first book? I actually thought that Mojo could have done a little better than it did.
Right.
If I had the reach that I have now,
right.
I mean, I think we could have got 200 backers on book one if I had the reach I have right now.
Right on. Well, I pulled the 2,600 on my first book, and 1,200 of it came from stores and me literally beating the concrete. You know what I mean, to sell the book. And when I hired Inked Marketing, I met you before I hired Inked, but when I got with you and I started going on shows and doing the live stuff, it turned into I made the same amount of money in the same amount of time, but I wasn't killing myself out, beating doors down to get people to buy the book. It was an easier way to get people to notice and to pay attention, and not to say that works for everybody. It's different for everybody. I wish everybody the greatest success in the world, but there is.
That's what I'm saying. I wish everybody would get that big push just for being part of the madness.
Absolutely.
You got to come out here and put in the work here too, though.
For sure.
I mean, you really do. You got to hit everybody's podcast. Yep. You got to go out there and you got to make your book appealing.
And I know that's tough on a lot of creators.
Make your book appealing.
That's right.
Okay, there's some people out there, and the first thing that they want to do is point out the most controversial part of their book. Don't do that.
No, we pushed. I said it yesterday, and I stick by what I said. I think one of the most important things is to sell yourself. You know what I mean?
That's what I was saying with creators, earlier creators, and any of the artists. It's like, I know that part of it is not the fun part of it at all, is getting out there and doing that end of it, the marketing, the business end, but it is a necessity, and you have to find that balance between the time that you're working on your stuff and the time you put into that, and you've got to do both.
Absolutely. Even if you get picked up by somebody big and they're doing all the promotional work and your name's in the credits and everything, when that job ends, You're back out here with everybody else.
That's right, man.
You're doing that big 2
That's
book
right.
or big 5 book or whatever. You better be out there telling people you're doing that big
Yeah.
2 book or that big 5
Yeah.
book too. Because next month, your ass going to be out here with us.
Yeah.
Going, hey, everybody, hi, I need a
That's
job.
right. That's right. Well, that's, I think that's the most interesting thing. We've touched on that topic once or twice before. It comes down to keeping the book going, keeping your audience attention. You know what I mean? Because, and I'll say it, and whatever, it may be controversial and it may, strike people in a way, but there's something to be said about somebody that puts a book out once a year versus somebody that puts a book out once out of 6 months versus somebody that does it every 3 months versus somebody that does it every 2 months. You know what I mean? Versus somebody that does it every month. And I know it's hard because I'm there. I'm telling you, I know it's hard. I understand. I understand the financial struggle. My favorite book that I've done, I think, probably is always going to be the first issue of The Listener. Is always going to be my favorite, and that's just because it was the biggest creation for me. It was all I could give it. It was.
I'm going to tell you right now, I also, that book, it led to so many relationships, friendships that you
Absolutely.
got to
Oh my
develop.
gosh.
You know what I mean? It's like, it just blew, like, going through me to Manny, and it was like, I'm like, oh, you have to meet this dude. It was like that. It wasn't like,
right.
Guys just ran across each other in the madness.
Right.
I was like, no, Dustin, you need to meet
it created
It
created so much. The Listener created a life for me out of death, and that was such a wild experience. Okay, and something I'm so very proud of. Man, look, you know what, Gator, reach out to me. Reach out to me and we'll talk. I'll see if I
You
can.
know who that is, right? You know who that is, right?
No, I have no idea.
That's Marianne Childress. She posts in the group all the time.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's Marianne.
We'll see what's up. We'll see if we can't get a cover taken care of. We'll get something going. We'll build something, man. We'll take care of it.
And yeah, even outside of that, it's just like I won't censor myself. You gotta bust your ass, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, any free time, you're gonna have to give up a few things here and there if you're gonna do it full time and seriously. You're gonna spend a lot of time in front of the drawing board or the screen.
You hear me say it all the time. You got to put in the work.
You got to have a passion for it.
You're wearing. It doesn't matter which hat you're wearing that day. You still got to put in the work. Look, I don't even do this for a living. I'm out here all day, every day, putting in the work because I want this and all you guys to be successful.
There's a really popular song out right now, and my wife put me on it. It's by this guy named Yellow Wolf, or Masked Wolf, or some craziness.
Yellow Wolf?
Yeah, he sings this song called, no, it's Masked Wolf. He sings this song called Astronaut in the Ocean. Okay? And it's not normally my type of music, but he literally has a line in it that he's talking about, even if he's not making money, he's still pushing forward. You know what I mean? And that's such an integral part of this business.
Yep, that's because
it's so. To give you an example, and I'll use me because it's easy because it's my shit. I can talk about it. It was $6,000 to put out the first book of The Listener. $6,000. Okay, I made $2,600 on my Kickstarter. I made almost $2,000 a couple weeks after that. You know what I mean? And that's because we started getting picked up by people that are paying attention. They're seeing the book. They're digging the book. You know what I mean? But once again,
Dustin promotes like crazy.
We didn't hit that 6,000 though. You know what I mean? So I was still $2,000 in the red, right? But at the same time, people were getting the book. People were seeing the book. It became something. Right? They're being noticed. Same thing with book 2. $6,000, book 2. Okay. But, I made $2,600 again on Kickstarter, roundabout, same amount of money. But at the same time, I wasn't murdering myself out in the street. I was home writing Greed. You know what I mean? I was pushing myself even further. And grabbing, a marketing team and going on shows and showing myself off and showing the product, it made such a large difference, right?
Yeah.
And then it literally turned into, look, what I got 3 shows now. I have 3 podcasts that I do now. You know what I mean? So it's like all of that came out of the fact that I came out of my shell and pushed and worked and, struggled to get where I wanted to be. And it doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen for everybody. But I'm telling you, if you give it everything you got, you can get there. It's blood, sweat, and tears, man.
Just don't
It's
stop.
going to
Persistence is
bed.
key.
Yeah, it's going to bed when you forgot dinner. It sucks when you forget to kiss your kids goodnight. There are all kinds of little things. But at the same time, it's something you can be proud of. Please, John. Absolutely.
I was gonna say, Phil, we've been doing CromCon for quite a while now, for a year. You've been with me for like at least half of that as a co-host. Figure you got a couple hundred work hours involved in what we've done. How much you made?
Yeah. No, I do that all through my freelance work, man.
You see what I'm saying though? It's like we didn't come out here to do this to make money. I'm glad, Phil, that you're getting a lot of work out of us being out here and talking about it, what you do, and making sure people know you're not just like Pop's co-host or whatever. You are a
Oh
creative.
yeah, I go
Man,
everywhere. I've got people
Phil,
on other shows, and they hit me up. I'm there, and it's
Phil's
like,
good
here's
shit,
what I'm
man.
doing.
Y'all need to, if you guys don't follow Phil, man, you need to follow Phil, man. I'm like, no bullshit. The guy's super talented, and he dips his fingers into every aspect of this business, and that's such an integral part of things. You'll listen to these really talented guys.
No, I have answers for this, but
I
I'll let you
appreciate that,
guys go
Dustin.
first. I'll let you
So,
guys go first.
okay, so that's a real good question for me because all my books are done before Kickstarter. You know what I'm saying? All of them. Every product I have done. You're very welcome. And that's come from the heart. That's serious talk. But it's when you do a book. One of the smartest things and pieces of advice I was given. Mike DeBalco told me we were on the phone. I remember I was pitching in the book, and he was like, "Dude, it better be done before you go to take it to Kickstarter." And I was like, "Okay, well, don't you use Kickstarter?" He was like, "Just hear me out. It better be done." And I was like, "Okay." So when you do a book, okay, you build a fan base by going out of your comfort zone. You build a fan base by putting out that first product, okay? But you're not only putting it out to Kickstarter, you're putting it on all kinds of social media. Like I said, I was going to local comic shops and showing people my book. Like, hey, look, this is the listener. What do you think? What could I improve on? What's your opinion? What do you think about it? And it becomes it's a real job. It's a 40 plus hours a week job. Whether people know it or don't know it, you
Yeah.
really got to get out there and show yourself, man. Show your work. That's how you build a fan base. You gain interest.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. If you're an artist, drip feed some of that stuff out.
Yeah.
You don't have to give it all away, but at least do a crop section of something off a page, or
Right.
just lead up to it. Just drip feed little bits out as people can gain interest as you're getting closer to your release.
Exactly.
And now, if I may step in with a suggestion from the madness, John, you've been my friend for a long time. You should come out and do 5 minutes, a little 5 minute segment every Monday, show a little something, something, get everybody's appetite whetted. And you're not coming out here and you're blasting people with it until it's ready, but you're giving them a little, yo, check
A
this
little
out. We'll
update.
make it
A
a
little
thing
update
every
on where
Monday.
a
We'll
little
make it
Oh,
a
love.
thing.
Yep.
We'll make it a thing. It's like John's running 5 minutes. Come out,
Yeah.
tell everybody, yo, this is what I did this week. You don't have to show everything. You keep the good stuff hidden. Maybe tease them. You know what I mean? We'll make you part of this and help you promote
Absolutely.
that book all the way up until you're ready to launch it, and then we'll launch the damn thing, bro.
I mean, so is John the artist or is he the creator?
That's a
He's
good
the
question.
whole.
I was going to ask that too.
John is a artist. Like John's an artist.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to say this,
Cool.
and I brought it up earlier. And whoever, Marianne, anybody that wants to take the advice, okay? If you do fan art of any of our characters, I show it off. I showed off.
What I mean is like John's art is like the kind of art where it fills the page.
Absolutely.
My
nice.
God. I mean,
so what I'm saying is this: you got to use your talents to advertise yourself. Okay.
Exactly.
So like, if you're an artist,
Cindy, Cindy. Hi, Cindy. How you doing? Woo!
So
awesome writer.
If you're trying to creators, I love it. So if you're trying to do things like that, you need to find other creators, okay, as an artist. So what you do is you find these dudes and you're like, hey, look, here's my view of your character. This is what I think your stuff looks like. This is what I see as an artist. Okay.
Bounce off each other's fan base.
Absolutely. So then I show your stuff off, or whoever it is shows your stuff off, and it's like, hey, this guy did this amazing Artex, okay, Pops. He sent me that a beautiful piece the other day, and I plastered it. You know what I mean? All over the stuff. Not that I want to make any money off of it. Not that I need to sell it or anything. It was just he sent it to me. It was very kind of him. I thought it was awesome, so I wanted people to see it. Stuff like that.
Did you see that tattoo video that he did? Did you see the tattoo video that we posted in the Madness?
No, I didn't see it.
That's why I said I want everyone to do crime, and I want your girl to do and your girl to do.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Because it becomes this. It becomes a way for people to. Do you remember Biodome, the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So at the beginning of the movie, the girls are all mad at them for thinking locally. You know what I mean? And at the end of the Biodome movie, Pauly Shore's like, hey, you guys are thinking locally, and we're thinking globally. So that's what you guys got to do. You have to realize that there are only so many people in each area. Okay, there's only so many people following each podcaster, or so many people following this artist, or whatever. So what you have to do is you have to find people that are like-minded. All right, find a group of folks that's like-minded. Like when I pull all of our artists for our covers and stuff, it's like because they hang out with people that I know, that I trust them to do what they're going to do. And if you come in and you start showing your stuff off, people see it. I've never seen your artwork. And I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm one of the.
You probably have seen it in the group. You're just not clicking today.
Yeah, anytime you get the chance, show off your work, man.
He came out for ladies' night and gave a piece away.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Yeah. My brain works like I'm the squirrel.
I mean, there's so many, dude. But
I'm literally the squirrel that is literally.
John's one of those that stood out way a long time ago. I seen like a 24 by 36 piece he did that was just corner to corner art, dude. There was no blank spaces.
Absolutely.
It was just amazing. I've been a fan of his ever since.
It was the 4 pieces that he was doing for the giveaway. One of the 4 pieces.
He had 3. I think he had 3.
Right. So yeah, beautiful art, man. Beautiful art. And that's what that's the important thing is to show it to people. Now all I can say is make sure you put your watermarks on there and stuff like that. Show your work off, man. Put it out there, let people see it. You're an incredibly talented individual, man. Let them see it. It makes such a difference, though. Like when I go looking for a cover artist, which is a different animal now than it was when I started. All right, and that's something that writers need to understand. It's a whole different ballgame when no one knows your name. You know what I mean? But the minute you started, and I didn't even know people knew my name until people told me they knew my name.
Yeah, it's definitely rough. It's definitely rougher on writers because it's not like you go, here's 5 paragraphs and post it up.
Hey. My buddy was talking about your book. It's great. I really enjoy it.
Right.
Holy shit, goosebumps. Thank you, sir. That's incredible. You know what I mean? And that's how I look at it. So when somebody goes, I've seen it. It's great. Hey, can I do a cover? I'm like, holy shit. When somebody goes, hey, I've got this buddy that's been with Marvel 20 years or DC 20 years or been with IDW or whatever else, and we like the idea of doing a cover for your book, holy shit. You know what I mean? And that's what you do. You start building the repertoire with people. You start building your rapport, your toolbox,
your resume.
Absolutely. Hey, I've worked with this guy. Hey, I've worked with that guy. Hey, I might have been on the first issue of this book. You know what I mean? And that goes for other types of creators, not just artists. That goes for writers as well. Hey, look, I was good enough. My story was good enough to have this person interested or that person interested. Because as a writer, when you go to an artist, they don't have to say yes, they're going to do your book. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that makes these guys or girls go, hey, look, yeah, I'm going to do that one. You know, maybe.
And I guess as a writer, you could probably have like a blog page too, where people could actually go read some of your work.
Absolutely.
If you don't have anything out there yet, you know.
I did that for about 6 months on Facebook, and I did it with not surveys, but updates on Kickstarter, right?
Yeah.
And I noticed that I got more likes and more attention for the stuff I was writing, but at the same time, that didn't translate to other things. You know what I'm saying? It was just like people wanted to come in and they wanted to read short stories, and they liked the short stories. It almost turned into like a blog, like you just mentioned. You know,
there you go. That would be a good thing. Short stories like that. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Yeah, it worked for a little while. And when I had time, it was great. When I had time, it was a great outlet. Yeah. You know what I mean? It really was. And I suggest that anybody do that. You know, and put it together. Put a pen to paper, man. Yeah, dude, hop in, man. Hop in and I'll blast it. I will blast it everywhere. Like I mentioned just a minute ago, I have 3 shows. You know what I mean? And they're all with incredible people. The co-hosts are amazing. You know, I will blast your stuff out. People will see it and we'll get it noticed. And that's part of it, right?
I'll give you a 5-minute Monday running.
Right
Monday running, the 5-minute update. What's up with you?
Do it.
There you go.
You know, and that's what it takes, right? Like, so I met Phil through Pops. I met Pops through Adam Fields. Dude, I mean, come on, hang out. Right on. Yeah. And that makes perfect sense as well. If you do a Patreon, you know what I mean? I've never done one. I don't know a lot about it.
Subscribe to Cindy's.
I will. I'm about that, man.
Drop the link, Cindy.
Drop a link, man. I'm super excited. I'll follow it. You know what I mean?
And that's one thing I hear about Patreon. It's like somebody had mentioned this. I don't know what conversation it was. I've had so many through the weekend, but yeah, you got a Patreon. Don't rely on just the Patreon, because that's not like the best way to find you. The best way is to use Patreon as your jump off point that you send people to from your other online presence.
Right. People put exclusive content on their Patreons. They don't put on their regular page. Somebody told me to get a Patreon, and I was like, but I don't have any exclusive content. It's like I'm trying to get everybody seen. I can't go hide behind a wall that you have to pay for.
So like, we joke about, the connections all the time, because I've made a lot of them, you know what I mean, through the madness as well, you know what I mean? So it was literally like a jumping off point was, I mean, for real, if you should hit anybody, feel free. I'll throw down the gauntlet, okay? I'll throw down the gauntlet. The next art book I do, I will put everybody's on it. I will publish every single piece that I get.
You know what you could do? You could panel the cover, like 6 panels, and put everybody's rendition.
I'm so far ahead of you right now on that. You don't know. Like, I'm so far ahead of that, it's stupid right in a second. So, you know what? I'll even beat my own gauntlet. I will beat my own gauntlet.
Dude, the Wolverine homage with the paper behind him, you can make that in. Oh, dude.
So, Greed Book 2, okay? Everybody that sends me, a legit piece now, not shenanigans, but everybody that sends me a legit piece, I will make into a collage cover for Greed 2.
There you go.
So everybody watching right now on the madness that has never been
listener characters and Greed characters
all day long, because my worlds intersect. So if you do
anything that Dustin has out there that you've seen and you want
any character I've got,
even if it's an arrow with an eyeball on it.
So I'll throw down that gauntlet. I will print on book 2. I will make a variant cover, madness exclusive cover, for everybody that's listening tonight that sends me a piece of art. You will all be on a cover, published cover by Cowabunga Comics.
Now I'm gonna have to make sure I go add that to the.
I don't know how to do better than that, guys.
No, what I'm saying is I need to go add that to the description of the YouTube Of the of the replays that when people go to look at
so folks know.
Say right in it, yo, Dustin said this. It's right here.
I got no qualms because you know what? I'll say this: it took the people that the people that put faith in me to get me where I am. I've been doing this a year now, and I'm about to put out my 3rd book, and I'm about to go to Kickstarter for my 4th. So, look.
Okay, yeah, we have to figure out. I'm gonna make sure I word it exactly right, so I'm not,
It'll look. I have this
idea
in my head already. There was a really cool cover for the Spider-Verse a while back.
With all the different,
it looked like the glass broke, right? It looked like cathedral glass had broken, and all these different characters were in this broken glass.
Right.
So I'll tell you what, I'll do you one even better. I'll do you guys one even better, okay? And Phil will keep me honest because he's my editor. He'll keep me honest. I'll do it, and I'll have one of our team members do the line work for all of this stuff, and then we'll drop your images into the broken pieces of glass.
Oh, yeah.
So then you could be like, hey, I had a cover with so-and-so, and so-and-so, and so-and-so, and so-and-so. So you know what?
It's madness.
Madness exclusive, guys.
Madness.
I will do it all day long. And you know what? I'll do even one better than that. I will get everybody to sign it that was here tonight on the Madness. I will get everybody to sign it. And you'll have your own book that on cover that you sign.
No, the art is in each little. Everybody's art would be in each little pane
in a shard,
glass, flying away, or whatever.
Yep. And it's
John, you're in this, right?
Come on, John. And you know what? And it's going to sound crazy, and it's going to sound selfish, but the fewer of you do it, it's better off. It's going to be bigger.
The bigger your piece gets to be on the cover.
So what I'm going to do, we'll say this. Let's use an example. If it's only John or it's only Maria, okay? What it's going to look like. Marianne. I'm so sorry. I apologize. So if it's only Marianne, we'll do the awesome stained glass, and I've already got the cover in my head. I've already seen it. So Cade is jumping through the stained glass, and it's breaking everywhere, okay?
Okay.
And if it's only 1 or 2 of them, it's going to be all their pieces built with the broken glass because it would be their pieces that were in the window that broke. So I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Man, let's do it, man. It'll be great. We'll publish that shit. We've got 2.5 months. Ask Phil right now. You guys laugh, but you ask Phil. We're almost done with book 1 agreed, aren't we?
Oh yeah, it's flying. I just checked into the group here a little bit while we were talking, man, and Manny and Dave are still kicking away over there. They're like, here's this, I'm sending that over. Here's that. I'm like, oh.
Page 24 is inked. Page 24 is inked. The book 1 agreed. Page 24. So I can't tell you guys how exciting it is to collaborate with these amazing talents and these amazing people. So what'll happen is it'll probably be Manny's cover or it'll probably be Dave's cover. 9 times out of 10, that's probably what's going to happen with this particular cover. But it's going to blow you guys' mind. And another really, really cool thing about that, Greed Book 2 also, like I said, has Justin Hunt doing a cover for it. And if you guys don't know Justin Hunt, I'm sorry, you definitely need to check the man out.
Yep, you got to check it out.
I mean,
stuff in the madness, bro.
Right. He's a monster. I mean, he's a monster. He's doing what? He's doing Lady Death right now. He's doing.
Imagine that. That's,
I'm just saying.
I've known about him from the Sworn Nation for a long, long time. Okay.
Right on. Right on. Well, so my Lady Death stuff is primarily before Polito came back. It's old Lady Death. Like I have almost a full run of the original.
Got a bunch of that. Got all kind of new stuff.
Yeah, I got a lot of new stuff.
Top row. The whole top row is homages through 17, 18, 19.
Right on.
And there's a medal over there. There's the Star Wars Lady Death, Lady Star Death, whatever that one. Dude, police was on it. Then of course the black metal that can never. There's no. Dude, there's no. Look, you open up you spent $26 on a Kickstarter, right? $26 shipped. Okay. And you ordered the homage cover that you wanted, and you're like, that's okay, I'm good with the price for that because I want this book. I love those homage covers, right? I'm good with that. You open it up, and it's got all the swiggy swag, and there's your book, and you're cool, and it's like, wait a minute, what's this? And I even messaged Brian. I'm like, yo, did my son order this? I don't remember ordering this, right? Because I did not see the video where he turbocharged and threw the black metal in.
Right.
Missed that one video. I shared all Brian's videos in the group, all the time, forever, whatever group I was in, you know.
Right on.
I missed the one video. Had no idea what this was. Thought my son bought it. I'm messaging Brian, and then I went back and looked at some of the old stuff on his page, and I found the video, and I was like, oh shit, I feel stupid.
Well, so like to me, so opening a comic shop was a time period where I quit collecting comic books. You know what I mean? So what you can do is you can go to thelistenercomics.com, or better yet, John, just message me directly on Facebook, and I'll just invoice you, and I'll send you the books. You know what I mean? That makes it so much easier. I'll just invoice you through PayPal, and we'll take care of it. It's not a big deal. And when we do that, I'll send you the PDFs as well, because I give everybody the PDFs that buys physical copies of my books anyway. So you'll have those, and you won't have to wait for shipping or anything.
Now, John, I just want to warn you ahead of time, John. This is some deep shit, dude.
Right on.
This book is deep, bro. You're gonna have to, either read it twice before you get back with him, or read it real slow.
I think book 2. I bawled, right? I bawled writing book 2. Like, book 2 was hard for me, and absolutely, man. And I'll shoot you the stuff tonight. It really. I have today's Monday. I do mail outs on Wednesday, so I'll have all that. I got to mail Pops' book Wednesday too, and Will's book, so I'll have them out to you Wednesday. I'll have the PDFs to you tonight. But it was such a labor for me to do what I did in book 2. Like, it was hard. Like, as a writer, there are a few things that are difficult, and emotional things are difficult for me. Not hard to write them, but hard to deal with them, just like a reader would, right? It's hard for me to see characters go through things that I create. And please be, because I'm excited. I'm excited for you. I shit you not. When people read the listener...
Look, Phil, pull up some of John's art, dude.
Oh, damn. I'm busy pulling up other stuff right now, dude.
Pull up some of John's art.
Where at? Where? Send me a link. Send me a link.
We had him live. I remember some of the stuff he was showing live. He showed us those awesome pieces.
But those were just like the ones he was giving away. I'm talking about like John, send me a link, bro. Send me a link. Let us show off some of your stuff.
Drop it in the comments even.
Yeah. There's something to be said though about the emotional ties between characters that you create. And even though you know what's going on as the writer,
he said you don't have to feel. Yeah.
Why not? Come on, man. Bring it.
There's something to be said about when winds weep. I think my titles all have to do with my books. All my books have their own titles.
Look, I got no links, but I'll produce some.
I believe it.
Banner. How did I see your art if you don't never have? I seen your art, John. How did I see it if you don't have no links nowhere? You got the Facebook page. You got.
Man, look, I believe it. I believe it, and I'm excited. Just as excited as you are.
Oh, okay. Look, there you go. Tonight is about.
Right on. I told my wife when I put out the listener, and we'll get back into Greed in just a second. But when I told my wife we were putting the listener out, and she edited my first book. She edits all my books except for Greed. She does all my listener books. But I was like, I wish I could be a fly on the wall when people read my books. You know what I mean? I really do. I think it would be such a really cool thing to be a fly on the wall. And I got another buddy named Phil that had me on his show, and he had just read When Winds Weep. And
the other Phil.
another Phil. And he told me that he gave me the coolest compliment. He was like, I read it 3 different times, 3 different ways. And I wanted to cry every time I read it. And he was like, I tried to look at it objectively. I tried just to go at it different ways. And he told me that the bond that I had created for these characters and the readers in book 1 to book 2 to the end of book 2 was something he'd never experienced in that amount of time. And it was just a really cool compliment. And that was my goal. I wanted you guys to feel for the characters. I want you to feel like you're part of this. And that's why I like breaking the fourth wall. I like the concept of you guys being able to feel like you're there and enjoying this experience with these characters. Not just necessarily enjoying all these experiences, but being there. There's something to be said about greed, though, that's very different than the listener. And the listener is as serious and balls to the wall as I could possibly imagine a comic book ever was. You know what I mean? I've been reading comic books for almost 30 years, and I've never read anything like it. I've read the greats, and I've never read anything like it. And that's not to say that it's better. It's just the story is different than anything I've ever read. And Greed, like I said, is that let your hair down book. You know what I mean? It's the, have a good time. You can sit back, drink a beer, hang out, find your MySpace, and read Greed. And it's such a fun experience. And not to say that you won't get, emotionally tied to these characters, because you will. What happens if a divide gets between Cade and Oz? You know what I mean? What happens when they start meeting these characters that are bigger than them, themselves, and what's going on in the larger picture? I don't know. It's bananas, man, and I'm having fun with it, and that's all I could ever ask for, right? Not only can I enjoy what I do for a living, I can enjoy other people's responses to what I do for a living, and that's beyond, man, like beyond anything I could have imagined. Check that out, man. That's dope. Look at those trees.
I told you, dude. He fills a page. He don't leave you no blank spaces.
Look at those
unless
trees,
it's
man.
supposed to be. You know what I mean?
Look at the line work on those trees, though.
Dude, he's amazing. I'm telling
Oh,
you.
you found the good page. I was just over on his profile page trying to find some stuff to pull up.
Okay, hold on.
So it's exciting.
I couldn't see too much over there. I just added you, John. Add me on Facebook, man.
Yeah, I mean, add me as well. I'm more than happy to promote you.
Look at that.
So I'll say
NRK.
I'll say this: your line work is awesome, and your cartoons are incredible.
Look at that, man.
There's so much to be said about a cartoonist. What you guys may not know is Manny is a cartoonist.
Oh yeah, I do. I do know.
Well, I mean, not you, but as viewers, you guys may not know that Manny is a cartoonist. And I think that was one of the fun things that brings Greed to life. That AVP is nice.
Yeah.
So with Manny bringing Cade to life, right? I think that your style is interesting and it's fun. You know what I mean? And it could be used to expand our covers. You know what I'm saying? I have a full permanent team of cover artists, but I'm more than happy to do guests, and that's an exciting concept, so as a guest artist, I bring the guests back too, you know what I mean? So if
the trees, I think the page with the trees, I think is from this book.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. You can definitely tell. And it's so Cade is a very cartoony character. Hey Phil, do you have any images of Cade, like his facial expressions or anything?
I am trying to pull that up. My browser's acting weird.
You're fine.
I might have to restart in order to get all my full
Look at it.
going on here.
Let me see if I've got some of them. Because we do some really cool stuff, and I really don't want to give away all of. Oh, here's one. All right, here's one that we've shown. I'll pop it up real quick. This is I think it's page 3 if I'm not mistaken. Page 4. Sorry, this is page 4. This has not gone to lettering yet. Like I said, we've just inked page 24 today. So expressions are so important to me in this book. Like, I love Cade's facial expressions. Like, he's a very, very alive character. That's not to say that all characters aren't alive, but some books come off as flat. You know, you're not getting it. Whereas I think our characters are brought to life in a way that you guys can tell what they're thinking or what they're saying at any given time.
John, that's Manny's work, man. That's Manny Soto from Mojo Rising.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and you know, Manny is a staple. Manny is my interior guy. This is another one we've shown. This is actually page 2 and 3, but it's a really cool way to show you guys, like I said, the different facial expressions that we bring into the character. And Manny picks up the vibes from me very easily. So Cade has a very cartoony expression on him a lot of times. And I think that's fun. It breaks the monotony of people not understanding how a situation, right? You could look at a book and certain artists are very, like I said, flat, and it makes a difference.
Oh, cool.
That's super cool. Super cool. But I do think
John is awesome, dude. He really is.
Absolutely, for sure, man. Well, like I mentioned earlier, right? We've got Oscar doing cards.
Ready.
Okay? These are things
Ready.
to think about. You know what I mean? Like Oscar's doing cards, collectible cards for the listener. He's just getting his stride to do things like that. So stuff like that also gets your name back. Welcome back. 24-hour show. I don't know about that, Danny. I don't know if I'll make 24 hours.
We'll have to bring you in, Danny, and tag out.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass out before long. So welcome back. So there's a lot to be said about ways of getting your art out. Like I mentioned, Oscar doing cards. I hire guys to do promo work. If you wanted to get on promo work with listener or greed, there's no issues with stuff like that. Show some stuff off, man. Come hang out. It's fun. If you want to come live with us, I've got no problem with that either, Pops. If you want to bring her in to, go live, that's, I'm cool with that.
I told everybody a long time ago.
I know you did. I know. So, hey, Danny, did you read what I sent you yet? Are you still in here?
Danny. I just like I said, when I first encountered John, I don't remember. It's been a while. I've been aware of John's work for a long time, and he's amazing, man. He told me he's doing a book a long time ago, and he's been doing it by himself, and he's trying to get it done before he goes out there and then he can promote it without having to worry about working on it.
Right on. So what I'm saying is, John, you and I need to talk. Don't do that. You know what? What did Phil? Phil said it to me before anybody else. He said, if you're good at something, don't do it for free. Okay? So you and I need to have a conversation, John, and I promise I'll help you situate some stuff. You did read it. What'd you think, Danny?
Do you have to go read it twice, Danny?
He said you have to read it twice.
You gotta give him time to type, man. You know how he is.
Oh yeah, I know. He's doing other things with his hands, is what it is. I know.
But holy cow! Look.
So
see, you.
Yep. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So I'll say this, and let me preface this. I have seen her artwork. I've seen it a lot, and it's awesome. All right, it's awesome. Yeah. She has it made me sad the other day, and she's welcome to hear me say it, and I'll say it live. It made me sad when I read the post that said she wasn't doing her characters any longer. I'm pretty sure that's the same person. She said she was going to work on characters that she was used to doing and not her original characters. Fairly certain that was said in the madness. And that made me really sad because the talent is there, the artwork is there, the passion is there. You know, and I'll help any way I can. You know what I'm
And
saying?
she's putting in the
I'll
work.
any way I
She's
can.
putting in the work, you know. And then she said something I think today about wanting to get her comic out. So, you
Yeah,
know,
you
I
know,
mean,
I'm with you.
it's like everybody, they have their ups and downs, you know.
Absolutely. I'm sure the story is long, and I'm sure there are ups and downs in it. But I'll tell you, reach out to me when you're feeling, you're feeling it, and we'll do something. You know what? How fun was that? Right? That was another panel, another page where everybody was like, "Are you really going to do that?" And I was like, "Yep." This guy's losing the jaw, and this guy's losing the scalp, and
That
it
guy's
turned out
losing an eyeball.
yeah. I mean, it turned out awesome, man. It really, really did. And I think the other splash page that we did in book one uh, blew my mind. It really blew my mind when they disemboweled the guy behind the building.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
It was epic, and it was epic on so many different ways and levels.
I can sit here and laugh about it now, right? I can sit here and laugh about all these pages, all these, but man, that first time you read it, the shock value is all there, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that was the important thing. That was what I wanted to give you guys. I wanted to give you the shock when you flip past a page to open those big old splash pages that are gory as all get out. You know what I mean? I wanted the shock. I wanted to, the reaction, to that, because we weren't killing people or eviscerating people in weird ways. We were, it was the realistic value of it that we wanted to show people. You know, yeah, I'm with you. I think that drawing your own characters is an amazing way to show off your talents. Whereas from a guy, and I'll say this, from a guy that is creating projects and doing things, having to step out of your comfort zone increases your strengths. You know what I'm saying? As a writer, as an artist, as a designer, it's all the same thing in that aspect. If you're going into an area you have not walked into or a realm you've never worked in, you gain from that. Even if it's hard, and even if it sucks, and even if it takes longer than you normally would take, you still gain something from it. You gain a skill, you gain a thought process. You're gonna earn something out of that trial by fire that you just went through.
I guess I should have just closed that, huh?
Right. So when we started working on Greed was a different animal. Like I mentioned, the listener is very dark. It's very, in your face. Greed is funny at points. Like we joke in Greed. As a team, we get to laugh and joke with Greed. That was very different for me. That was very, very
that was
different.
the whole thing. I think after as deep as the listener was, you kind of needed something that you could have fun with.
I really need to have a good time with it. And I have been. I've had the greatest time. And that's not to say that behind the scenes I don't have a great time with the listener, but it means, and like I mentioned, and it's the same thing. I joined Pops' hair band because of this particular book. You know what I mean? It lets you drop your hair down. It lets you have a good time. It's, yeah, absolutely. Your characters are fun. Your characters are very original, and I think that's what's important, right? Like when we designed Cade, I already knew what I wanted Cade to look like. I knew. I'd known forever. When I was a kid, there was this character that I used to love reading about, and I wanted my own take on that character. What he would look like, and what I thought he would be fun and cool, and I love gremlins, so I really thought making my own version of a gremlin would be a lot of fun. Exactly. I thought it would be just a great time. And grabbing a guy that was used to drawing little green people was great. So, but it's so important to have faith, I think, in your character designs. Like, it doesn't matter what other people's opinions are, as long as you're happy with what you're putting out and it's resonating with people.
I just want everybody to know Manny drew this.
There you go.
Manny drew this.
Yep.
Like you said,
Manny drew this.
You're adapting your own style,
Absolutely.
and that's a good thing, man. That's
his really progression of. That's how Pops Van Zandt looked. That's Manny's first rendition, right? From way back in 19. Then this was in 20, and then now this is Pops in 21. That's his progression of what he's drawn of me.
there's
And
really
Dawson,
something.
dude, he told me, he goes, I don't want to use the old one. I want to use a new one. I want to draw it
Right.
again. I want to see how I can do it now. I was like, oh, go
Right.
for it. You
Well,
know?
it's prevalent, right? In all of us. You know, when Phil comes in, right? Phil's like, hey, I try to do better colors than I did the last time. You know what I mean? It's
Very
like
much.
it's all about growth, you know. Right on, absolutely. Whoa, there. What's this? I mean, it's cool.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, look how far I've come. That's like,
Something
you
that's
know,
fun to do with that too, and people
right.
do it. Take one of your old versions like that you thought were like that, go back and redo it now.
Absolutely.
That's always a fun exercise, and to see what you came up with different, or how you did it different.
Perfect example, right? From a writer's perspective. I literally wrote the first 30 issues of The Listener. I wrote them in just under 2 months. 30 whole completed books
That was
in
the first
under
thing
2
I
months.
ever drew, Dustin, right there.
I've seen. I love that thing, man.
That was the first thing I ever drew. I was like 54 years old. And I was like, oh, I want to try this and see what these guys go through. Because I was just starting to get all these artist friends. You know, it was like 3-4 years ago, I think, when I did it. But, you know, it was like, I love it. Jim O'Reilly dissected that thing for me, too. He showed me how easy he could draw it in about like an hour. And I had like 6 hours in it or something.
Well, I can't wait to see the Vulcan design. That's exciting. I'll say that like I said, I wrote 30 issues of The Listener in under 2 months. All right, like literally was smashing it. And that being said, when it started, it was a novel almost. Like I was writing it as if I would write a novel, and I had to go back and make it into pages versus a book. And like now, I go back to each book that's coming out. Like when Wind's Weep came out, I went back and take it easy.
Maybe.
It was like we were building, right? You know, you go back to a book and you have so much to change. You know, I'm excited.
Whoa, what the hell?
Yeah, if you can make those sounds, I'm excited about it.
Marianne, what you have to understand is if you elicit a emotional response from somebody, whether positive, negative, or somewhere in between, you did your job.
Yeah, you win.
Get a whoa or a what the hell.
You win.
They didn't just scroll past it, baby. You see what I'm saying?
Those responses make me look twice. You know what I'm saying? And then I want to know who did it because they caught my attention. Like if you were to get on my Facebook right now, my whole feed is artists, basically. My whole feed. So you would literally get through there, and every now and then you'll see something that makes you stop. And the crazy thing about it is they're all mega talented folks, right? All mega talented. So as you're going down it, you're looking, you know, to see something that catches your attention. I know out of the 400 friends or 500 friends or whatever I have, 100 of them can do a Spider-Man as well as anybody else. You know what I mean? Anybody. You could throw in a Spider-Man of theirs with anybody's. But at the same time, if we're scrolling through and all of a sudden there's a Godzilla and we don't ever see anybody draw a kaiju, it'll make me stop and I'm paying attention to it. You know what I mean? I think Guile did a female thing the other day, like from the Fantastic Four, but it was like the Thing's body with a woman's head, and it caught my attention so fast it wasn't even funny. You know what I mean? Like I literally stopped what I was doing, and it's like the artwork's beautiful. The guy smashing stuff. He's doing a Greed cover. He's a beast. But at the same time, it was the concept of what I was looking at. And you can have beautiful art all day long. That's another thing to remember. You can have beautiful art, but if the concept isn't there, people are just going to scroll right by it. You know what I mean? And that's why I mentioned facial expressions with Cade and Greed, because they break up a page. You know what I mean? They break up the monotony of looking at certain things. You know what I mean? You have to have these points that just grab people's attention. I like What the Hell. What the Hell is my favorite. Give me more What the Hell. You know what I mean? Like Danny mentioned the guy getting his wig chopped earlier. You know what I mean? I know that everybody that opens my book is going to stop on that page. They're going to stop. That's what's going to happen. It doesn't matter who you are, you're going to stop. You know, and that's important. you know. Hey, man, absolutely. Yeah, certainly, man. So, like I said, message me this evening, John, and I'll take care of you, brother.
I
It won't be
really
a
dig
problem.
seeing some of your art, John, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's beautiful stuff, man. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. So, like I said, reach out to me, John. Add me and add Phil on Facebook. You know what I mean? Add us both. If I forget, because my memory sucks on a lot of things, I won't forget to hook you up tonight. I'll get you invoiced and taken care of. Just remind me. But Phil, on the other hand, is amazing at things like that. So, like, if you want to do this stuff with our cover, make sure you mention it to him. He'll remember. I've got notes taken now. And we'll take care of it. You know what I mean? We'll get you situated. If Marianne wants to do it, I'm taking notes on that too. I'll put both of them on that cover for Greed. If they want to do it, you know what I mean? And that's just another way for you guys to get, exposure, to get seen. And it's not enough, it's I'm not the biggest fish in the sea, but I'm trying to get to be at least a contender with all the other big fish. Phil is my colorist for covers for me. He does color, and he's my editor.
Yeah, I do color. I do also do sequential stuff. I'm around. I got some things going on, man.
He is definitely
this is something I finally, because Crom, I can't focus as much, but here's something I worked on through some
Phil's
of the
coloring all kind of stuff
over the weekend
Cheers.
for White Devil.
I appreciate that, John. I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. I promise you. I really do, from the very bottom of my heart. It's a very powerful experience, and to be able to say that I walked through the fire and got where I am now. I mean, it's a long journey still. Like, I'm still at the very beginning. You know what I mean?
No problem, John.
We're still at the very beginning of this journey, but it's incredible, man. And anybody that I can bring along with me, I will. Yeah, man, stay on that boat. And I tell people,
row! Everybody row!
Bro, when we started this, you can ask Pops. I was really timid. Like, I was really timid when we started this about everything. And I'm to the point now.
Panel, was it late CromCon panel or something with you, Kevin, and everybody? And it was like everybody afterwards was like, "Man, you two just need to go make your own."
Oh yeah, it was even before that. It was when he was on with Yeah.
Yeah, I was on with some people, and I was just super timid. It was like the only show I'd done. It was
the first one you were on, the first Crom you were with. We mentioned him earlier. My brain's blanking right now.
I can't remember.
I
remember being on a show with Will and then coming onto this show. That was the progression of it.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because Adam was the one that told me.
Yeah, Adam. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Adam Fields is who I was on with. He was like, "Hey, come get on the show with me," and I was like, "Okay." But I was so timid. I was scared to death to talk to you guys live. I didn't even know what to think about it, and it was like, I've done a lot of shit in my life. Like, I carried a gun for 10 years for a living. You know what I mean? I've done a lot of shit, but I was scared to death to come talk in front of the madness. I really was. I didn't know what to think. And, and at this point now.
That way. You know how that is, man. I was on stage for I don't know how many years, but still getting back into art and live on here. It was like, oh.
Yeah, I mean, and it was such an experience and such an amazing gift and I thank Adam all the time. And y'all can razz him about it if you want to, or razz me about it. But I thank him all the time because I feel like he gave me a gift that you guys have given me as well. At one point in time, I could have never said this, and I say it now with confidence. Don't sleep on me.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on me. You know what I mean? And I've gained so much confidence because of the madness, because of being with Inked Marketing, because of working with Kevin, because of working with Phil, because of working with Adam, all these amazing people. And I think that's something we hear as children and we forget as we get older. Surround yourself with people that lift you up. That's all I can tell you. Surround yourself by people that are like-minded and, will support your talents as much as you're supporting their talents. Just lift each other up, man. It doesn't take anything in the world. Doesn't cost you to be kind. It doesn't cost you to treat people with respect. Lift each other up.
Right.
I mean,
What did I do, Danny? I was a front man and played a little bit of keyboards and synth, but yeah, mainly a vocalist and a front man, dude. And a cat wrangler and a booker and and the promotional guy and
yeah, now a colorer, now a linus, now he works on editing, now he's doing covers, he's doing sequential art. I bet he makes a mean cup of Joe.
And y'all don't want to hear my titles.
You want to wear some hats? I got hats.
Exactly. Got hats.
when I was a teenager, I sang in a rock and roll band, just like Phil did. The name Van Zandt, the nickname Van Zandt didn't come from anything other than my ability to do Ronnie and do him well. I worked with the dude at radio, which is where I got my confidence to come out here and do this. And then I was off the grid for 20 years, and I mean, pretty much completely off the grid.
Comedian.
This is how I came back on the grid, like full blown, I guess. But the confidence to do this came from working with Rob Flanagan in radio. It's like he gave me that. I knew I could come out here and do this. It was just the COVID thing, the cons going down. That was the catalyst. That was the thing that went, hey, you can do this. Go do this. They need somebody to go do this, And I have the skill set to come out here and talk and hopefully encourage other people to feel comfortable while they're out here talking with me and, get them loose, get them talking about their stuff. Man, do you remember the first couple CromCons, Phil? Man, they were pretty stiff, bro.
Well, I know. How do you think I got roped into this, man?
Nobody knew what to do. We had 30-minute segments of people going, because
well, that's the way it was. I was just working like through groups and collaborations and studios that I've ran into. And then when everything went down and everybody was going online, I'd already been online working and everything, but not going live. So that kind of pulled me into that. And, once you get your feet back, I had to shake off the rust and get my stage feet back, man. But, it's all fun. It's all in good fun, man. I enjoy the hell out of it, man. I enjoy meeting everybody. I enjoy hanging out and talking with you guys and everybody else I've ran into.
Absolutely. I can come out here and talk all day long. But you guys know I need guys like, Phil to make the show go. It's like I'm not the tech guy. Man, if I didn't have you come out here and help me 6 months ago, 7 months ago, however long ago it was when you were a guest on my show.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, how'd you like to be a co-host right now?
Yeah, that's just like, okay, well, here's all my stuff and here's what I'm working on. And hey, can you stick around and pull some levers? I'm like, I guess, sure. But I'm glad I did. It was a fun time, man. I've been enjoying this ride.
It was a regular progression, though. It was like every month. It was like I kept thinking, man, I didn't think I'd still be doing this. We need to do something better. How am I going to improve it? So it was like bringing other people, try to make it a little bit better so it flowed better. Bring in a tech guy that knows what he's doing because I sure didn't. I can get in front of this microphone, talk all day, but get me in the backstage, ask me to run shit, watch it fall apart.
Y'all are silly. I think it's fun though, right? Because you guys vibe really well. You work together as a team. You know what I'm saying? I equate you to siblings, and that's how I view the two of you. You know what I mean? It's like you guys have all this stuff in common, and then there are times when you guys want to punch each other, and it's all out of you can see.
No, I never wanted to punch Phil. Never ever.
No, we just.
I don't mean it literally.
That sibling stuff. Dang it, man! Why'd you this and I did that because man.
Right.
We're like, absolutely. All right, cool.
That's how I see it. I see you guys as the siblings that go back and forth. You know what I mean? It's like at the end of the day, you guys are going to be buddies, and it doesn't matter what happens. You guys are great buds, and I love.
At the end of the day, we both have the same goal, and that's for this all to help everybody be successful. And even when we're butting heads, at the end of the day, we know we're still trying to accomplish the same thing, and we work together to do it.
Absolutely, and I think that's a very powerful thing, and people may not understand how powerful it really is, but it's such an experience to work with guys. They give a shit about each other. They give a shit about the other people involved. You know what I mean? It's wild, man. And it's something that you can only find in the indie industry, man. It really is.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, there's no other way to put it, man. And it's a remarkable thing. Like right now, there are plenty of jobs, right, in this world where we would give our left arm to have somebody go, hey, could you, can you help me out? Can you teach me a little bit of how to do this? You know what I mean? No one wants to help each other. That's the world we live in. You know what I mean?
Thinks they're going to get theirs. Everybody thinks they're going to lose their piece of the pie. It's like,
don't be afraid to give somebody a tip or to help them out or to steer them in the right direction, man.
But we live in this world where we don't want to assist one another. You know what I'm saying? It's such a shame. It really is a shame. So being able to do
all the time, there's plenty of it. And there's not just a little bit for that guy and a little bit for that guy. They print it all the time. There's enough for everybody.
Right.
Y'all go out and promote each other. Shit.
Yep. Well, like I mentioned, we're cross-promoting with Killaroo. I'm really excited about that. You know what I mean? It's a lot of fun. I mean, he was thinking this was yesterday. Yesterday, man, y'all had me up
this yesterday.
Good Lord.
God, you guys kept me up late the last
morning.
Playing it again, Phil.
Man, look here. I got off of here, and I was like, I'm going to go to bed, right?
Yeah.
I go toward the bed, in the bedroom, and I'm like, oh, my wife's in bed. I'm not going to try any shenanigans because it's 2 o'clock in the morning. She's liable to murder me. So, but then I look over, and there's blood all over the wood floor where the two cats were fighting in the living room.
Oh no!
And like a lot of blood. Like I was like, holy shit! There's a lot of blood on the floor. So yeah. So I was up till like 4 cleaning that up.
Yeah, I ended up still being up. It's like, oh man, I couldn't help myself. I opened Photoshop again. Plus, I was still, it was still off that show vibe, man. I had a lot of energy to shake off yet.
Well, I mean, it's so prevalent though. Like I said. And I'll say it to the end of days. We have got to help each other. We really do. I'm not up for the shenanigans with, mind you, it's not all kumbaya and rose-colored glasses and whatnot, right? But at the same time, like I said, pay it forward.
It's a truth, though. If everybody helped everybody else out and then Lou did the same thing, Imagine how cool that would be, man.
I agree. Well, look at right now. Everybody's freaking out because Marvel's got the shenanigans going and they're walking away from Diamond. What? Everybody's like, hey, look, they're still going to be going. They're still selling through Diamond. Okay, that's fine. But the other company, Penguin, is giving free freight shipping? Free freight shipping? You know what freight shipping costs for a normal retailer? Okay, so if you think that people are going to buy through Diamond, so if you think people are going to buy through Diamond when another company is giving them free freight shipping, I had to fight with that company numerous times to get my books sent correctly. So now you're telling us there's another way, just like DC just did recently. So you're telling us there's another way to do things. We have other options. There's no longer the end all be all. That's the indie world, kids.
You remember what
you don't have to worry like that.
You remember what I said about Diamond pulling the rug out from under everybody last year, and now everybody's making sure they ain't never going to be able to do that to them again?
Look, right at the knees. When you start talking about shipping, and you're going to do better shipping, and it's free, you've cut them off at the knees, man. You're just hacking them away, man, because, look, there's something to be said about customer service. And going into the indie industry, guys, that's what we got. That's what all we have. Diamond is so big, right? DC is so big.
The only way Pop's talking about your book is if customer service is the number one part of your business.
Absolutely. Like, look right now. We were just talking to John, right? We were just talking to him, okay? I told him I would get to him. I got to him immediately. And it's important to me. We're sitting here talking. I can still use my fingers. Let me tell you, I can still message somebody while I'm talking.
Now check this out, though. Like when I'm promoting somebody's first book, I don't know how their customer service is going to be.
That's true.
Okay, I'm taking a chance on everybody, and I promote everybody's first book. If I see it show up, and I'm always in the madness. I'm telling everybody, hey, check it out.
Absolutely.
As usual, everybody to succeed. But when your book is, when it's time to fulfill, you got to fulfill, y'all.
Man.
Because if you don't, and you made me look bad, I'm probably not going to be spouting about your book next book too. I'm probably not going to be out there talking about book 2, fulfill.
Well, isn't that what we talked about?
Whatever. Do what you have to do to get people to book in the condition they expect.
Yeah.
If there's a problem, handle it. If the mailman bent their fucking Gemini 5 different ways, send them another one and say, I'm sorry, the mailman sucks.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying? Customer service will win you more fans and more word of mouth advertisement than anything.
I have a hand to God story about that right now that's better than any other one. Okay, hand to God. So when I put out The Listener, I had no idea how to do Kickstarter, right? The very first book. I had no clue what I was doing. And I ended up giving everybody free shipping. I paid for everybody's shipping. And whatever, I did it. I didn't know what I was doing, so I agreed to it. It's my fault. I paid for the shipping for everybody. And I had this guy in the UK, and he didn't get the book. Like, I don't know why he didn't get the book. But COVID was going on. It sucked. I understand. You know what I mean? So I sent him another one. He didn't get that one. So I was like, okay. So what I did is, please do. So what I did was I called my buddy in the UK, and I was like, hey, dude, I know you got your order from me. Can you overnight a book to this dude for me? You know what I'm saying? And he did, right? So when that happened, not 2 days later, I met James Hull. James Hull owned a store in the UK. He reached out to me, and he was like, Dustin, I need to get a cover, a store cover, a store variant cover for his shop. Okay, that's $300. That goes all to the artist. Okay, I don't take a cut out of that. That goes right to our artist. And then he bought, oh my gosh, $1,000 worth of inventory for his store from us in the UK. Now, I had just helped this dude in the UK, so I honestly feel like there's like a jar of karma. Okay, that when you fill it, it stays full. And if you act shitty, karma gets taken out of your jar. You know what I mean?
Now.
So I was overblown. I almost started bawling. I was like, holy cow, this guy just bought $1,000 worth of my book, and we just printed. You know what I mean? We just printed. I didn't even know what to think.
So check this out. The first Kickstarter I backed, Lady Death, I don't know, it was a while back, Apocalyptic Abyss or something, right. 2017. First Kickstarter, first crowdfunder we backed. And it gets to me, my son, got the books. He got one, he picked out, I got one, he got one, right? So the books get there, and he has the package. He snuck it off in the bedroom, didn't even let me know he had it, right? And he opens it up, and he comes back out, and he's like, has this just totally depressed look on his face. He's like, Dad, the books are all dinked up on the corner. And I was like, well, Brian seemed like a pretty good dude. Let him send me an email. I'm sure he'll handle it. Within the week, we had a whole complete new backer kit.
Right.
And we're talking about, like, one of the books was limited to 60.
Right.
The one that my son ordered.
Yeah.
And that's why Brian keeps a couple off to the side just in case, so that he can make it right. Mm-hmm. So if you have like 15 metal books printed up and you're giving them away as a reward, keep a couple. Don't offer them all in your rewards, so that if somebody gets a damaged one, you, as a great customer service person, can replace that.
Absolutely.
Look, you want a fan for life, because, like I said, within a week, we had replaced the whole backer kit.
You have to do your fulfillment right, man. It doesn't matter what anybody says. Okay, so like I said earlier in this show, The key point for me was to have my books done before the Kickstarter every time. So I don't like people to have to wait. I don't want you to have to wait. Like the guys that ordered that their money came through and stuff for the most part for Win Wins Weep, they've already got their PDFs. They're going to get their physical copies. You know what I'm saying? It's a way for me to know and to be able to tell you confidently that you won't have to wait.
You want to know what the best part of that story was, though?
Oh Lord, what was it? He gave you something extra, didn't he?
Oh, I got to interview him and talk to him about it. I got to tell him, hey man, you won me as a fan because you had great I got to tell him that live, while I was interviewing him.
So
I told him, I was like, yeah, man, our books came damaged. I'm talking live while I'm interviewing him. Yeah, man, first one I ordered, and they're all damaged. And he goes, and I was like, but man, you handled it so well.
The first time I met him, I had an Ebbets, I think it was an Ebbets cover that it was 20 of them that they printed, and I bought. It was like $50. I picked it up. He was at the show we were at. It was MegaCon, I think, one year. And he signed it, and I'm sitting there talking to him, and I'll never forget him asking me about my shirt. I don't know where I had a Lady Death shirt, and I don't know where it came from. I have no idea. I couldn't tell you where it came from. But it was just like, to have the dude tell you it was cool, and, he's just a solid dude. He really is a solid guy. That's like, the guys that I've met in the industry that are so way up there, that are super talented, are so humble. Most of the ones I've met are really, really humble individuals.
He's so cool, man. Look, this was CromCon 1, okay?
Right.
He didn't know. I mean, he knew me from Facebook groups.
Right.
He knew I just was jumping out there trying to do this. He knew who I was, but he knew I wasn't like this guy, this con promoter or any of that. He knew I was trying to come out and do this for real, and he gave us credibility right away from the beginning by coming out and being part of the first one.
Right on.
I mean, I don't think we would have took off without that kind of boost on, the first shot. We had Mike Barron, we had Keith Williams, some great people come out that first week or that first con and really give us a good boost. You know? Now, the announcement for those of you who don't know, Mr. Polito coming back to the one of the anniversary show next month.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting, man. I'm overly excited, to see it and what's going to happen, what's coming on. You know what I mean?
I just want to make it like ridiculously crazy next month. I want to have some more fun.
It's going to be wild, man. It's definitely going to be wild. I'm really excited to see it and what happens with it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't tell you any more than I'd like to. That I'm excited for the madness. I'm excited for everything going on with it. I'm excited
dude, everything. I'm excited that Danny's on board with us now. I'm excited that what we were talking about last night.
Oh yeah,
possible future collaborations and shit.
Yeah.
Man, come on.
Man, I have too much fun though. Like when someone points me in a direction, I run full tilt. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all I know how to do. I don't know how to half-ass.
Hold up, when you get older, that shit'll bite you. I'm just letting you know that.
Yeah, look. So right now, I started surfing at 10 years old, and my knees now. I'm 35. My knees are smashed. Like everybody jokes about the fact that I tote these. I have 25 stairs in my house, and I tote these long boxes up and down stairs all the time, and you can hear my knees popping while I'm walking up and down these stairs.
Yeah. I go up and down the stairs 30, 35 times a day.
That's my back from hauling heavy music equipment in and out for years, man.
Yep. I mean, they say that swimming doesn't take a toll on you. I'm here to tell you that swimming takes a toll.
Yeah.
My knees are smashed. My upper body's great, but my knees are beat, man. And I love what I do, or I wouldn't do it. I love selling comics. I know dealing with comics. I've got, like, behind me, you can't see, it's real dark. You can kind of see the outline of the tables behind me. I've got 800 long boxes in my house that I move up and down these stairs. And it's just
Yeah.
Man, look, I said something on Facebook about needing. I need
This
an
is another
intern.
thing I'm going to tell you. When it comes down to having to move them quickly, it's easier to stack 3 short boxes and carry them out the door than
I
it is
agree. Absolutely.
to try to maneuver that
Yep.
one freaking long box, dude.
I
I
need
got rid of all the long boxes. I just got short boxes now.
I did that. Okay, so I did it. I did it one time, and when we moved from Florida to Tennessee, I closed 3 storage units worth of comic book stuff, plus my house. You know what I mean? And it was
But
like,
see, you had a store and
right, but
like
it was
Yeah.
still
stock.
like it was still. I still like when you go upstairs into my office. One of these days, I'll do a video with you guys, like walking through upstairs. Like I posted. I don't know. I probably posted 20 pieces of art the other night. You know what I mean? And when I go up there, it's like I love my office. It smells like my wife because it's her office too. So you love that smell as a husband, as a lover. You love that. And I go up there and I love to be able to smell my wife in that space. But outside of her 8x8 little area that she works in, it looks like shit. It looks like a comic shop just threw up. And I love my stuff. You know what I mean? There's probably 1,100 action figures up there, all on card. I love my shit. But at the same time, it's like I really wish that I could pay some young dudes that knew comic books to come up there
A
and handle
roadie.
that business because
Oh.
getting too old for it, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I told my wife that the other night. She was because there are 40 long boxes down here in our theater right now. Like you can't watch movies on the 360-inch screen right now because there's fucking comic books everywhere. And she was like, you're working downstairs now. You're doing all this stuff. Why don't you go upstairs and just make space? And I'm like, you try moving 800 long boxes around upstairs. You know what I mean? And then if I go upstairs, I feel like I'm a hobbit, right? Because I go up there, I take my computer up there, I'll take my desk up there, and now I'll be down here and I won't see them. You know what I mean? And that just makes me feel like an asshat. I love my kids and I love my wife. I don't want to be away from my family.
Right.
I did that for too long. I worked when I was working with security programs and working on the ships and stuff to make sure that people weren't coming in from out of the country and whatnot. I was gone all the time, man. All the time, and I didn't want to be like that anymore. When I left JEA and I quit and everything, it was like I don't want to do that anymore. I didn't want to do any of the shenanigans away from my family anymore. And so, I'll sit in here in my little corner desk. You know what I mean? I won't have my cool ass space. I'll sit in here in a little corner desk and be around my family. Because that's what's important to me. I mean, I would love to be able to look at gorgeous art all day. I really would. But at the same time, I think I would miss my 2-year-old running past. You know what I mean? Or, my daughter who's virtual school right now. I'd miss seeing her. And, I think that, once again, I think that just like a team, your family is important. The support you have from them. Just like your accomplices when you're doing art, or your buddies when you're putting your books together. All your stuff comes from somewhere. There's so many things that come into Greed from my son. His name is Oz. My son's name is Oz. You know what I mean? It's a very cool thing for me to be able to talk about my book with my wife and my son to be like, you talking about me? You know what I mean?
Oh, that thing we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
That little thing I asked you, I'd like to make happen.
Yeah.
Is an Oz.
Yeah. I'm on it.
Is an Oz, right?
Right. I'm on it. I'm 10 steps ahead of this game.
I mean, short for Isaac, right?
Right.
Is an Oz. I like it.
I'm with you on. I'm with you on a lot of things right now. I am. I'm with. I'm in a headspace right now where what you guys don't know is I'm literally putting out a book a day. I'm putting a whole book down a day, and it's such an incredible experience. And to have people behind you that are supporting you in this endeavor.
Is it like there was a dam and it just blew open and like everything you wanted to do now is all coming out on paper, just like boom, 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 boom.
When Les died, I went through this period of I didn't leave my. So when I closed my comic shop, I didn't leave my house for like 8 months. Like my wife went everywhere. She dealt with everything, and then my son was born, and it was like, okay, all right, I got to stop, and almost like not a pity party. It wasn't a pity party. It was depression. It was like real depression.
Right.
And
but it was time to man up, time to get up,
it
take
was
care of
time
business.
and Kyle had reached out to me and he was like, man, you got to come out of the house. We got to get you out. We got to do some more stuff. So when we started Cowabunga Comics, it changed my aspect on life. And then when we moved up here, it was even better. We were out in the sunshine. I hike a lot. I don't know if you guys see that on Facebook. I hike all the time. I'm outside a lot. And I try to take pictures and show you guys cool, beautiful waterfalls and stuff like that and all kinds of fun stuff. But when Les died, it was a really shitty experience. And I'll tell you a lot behind it that we've not gone into ever. So I'll give you the down and dirty of it right now. When Les died, I didn't know that he didn't deal with his family outside of my grandmother. I didn't know he talked to her. John read it. I'm glad he likes it.
He just said he read it. He did. Yeah. He's going to go back and read it again. What do you want to bet?
So when Les died, I told you the other day he had disappeared for like 20 years. Like he just disappeared, and he hated the government. Because when Les joined the military, he didn't join it because he wanted to.
Came off the grid. I totally relate. It's like I've been off the grid forever, 20 years.
Right. Yep. So he shows back up. We start spending time with him again, and we're seeing him. And my dad would come and visit him and visit us because he was visiting him. You know what I mean? And we started associating with him and stuff. But when he died, what I didn't know was he had disappeared to stay away from his family. Not my grandmother, but his immediate family and stuff. And which is very sad, and it happens to a lot of older people in this country. It's absolute bullshit. But anyway, whatever. That's another story for another time. But as he was dying, and he passed, all these people were saying all these negative things. And I remember writing the eulogy and thinking, I just needed to get it out. It needed to be said. It needed to be heard. And I did it. And all these people reached out and were like, hey, are you going to be okay? Are you feeling all right? And I appreciate it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Eric is a blessing. He's an amazing human being, man. An awesome friend to have. But so when I started writing, I couldn't stop writing. Like I couldn't stop. It was like, all these people talk about like what do they call that? Writer's block, right? They talk about writer's block. And with me, it was like I couldn't quit though.
That's what I was saying.
It was just like vomiting just information, just constantly vomiting information. And
that's amazing that you say that you wrote the eulogy for that. It's like when my son's uncle died, I went to his funeral, right?
Right.
And we were friends when we were younger, and we hung out. We did things that we probably wouldn't tell anybody about. We were young and we had fun, right? But I went to his funeral, and all my life, the few funerals I've gone to have been people that really meant something to me, and I, fall apart, can't talk, I just want to leave. That was me, right?
Right.
So I'm at Mike's funeral, and one person said something, and then the guy up at the front. I mean, there's quite a few people here, and the guy up at the front. Anybody want to come up and say anything? And there's like nobody was getting up, and I was like, and I was like, no, fuck this, he ain't going out like that. And I got up and I went up and stood in front of his whole family,
right,
telling them all, hey, look, y'all, good dude. We had a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah. Right on. I'm with you.
Like I was not going to let him go out like that.
So I went down. And I spoke to his girlfriend. She was a great lady. You know what I mean? She's still. So the arrangement that was made was she would get to stay in the house. She could stay in the house. She's an older lady, I'm not gonna fucking kick her out. You know what I mean? So she gets to stay there until her time is up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right. So the agreement was, we would get the house, and I was like, well, that's fine. Just she can stay. Whatever. And so we're gonna do a show from that house coming up. We're actually gonna drive down and do a show from there. We're gonna interview my grandmother, have my grandmother talk about him a little bit. Talk about their heritage a little bit, because everybody asks. Everybody asks what tribes you claim and all that jazz. I avoid the conversation like a plague, Okay, I really.
Yeah, but we can incorporate that into how the listener was born.
Absolutely.
Video, make a
Absolutely.
little docu about
Yes,
them.
sir. Well, I do. I avoid the tribal conversation. I avoid it. I really do, because I am of the opinion that no one owes me anything. You know what I'm saying? No, at all. No one owes me a thing in this world. And at 18%, there's a lot that we could claim, and we don't. There's no point. These guys didn't fight for this country because they wanted to. They fought for the country because they were forced to. That was how they were surviving. You know what I'm saying? So I want nothing from it. You know what I mean? He's dead, and a lot of it's because of them. A lot of it's because of fighting in these wars and dealing with stuff he dealt with. You know what I mean? Agent Orange killed my grandfather. You know what I mean? There was a lot of stuff.
That shit killed one of my buddies too.
Right. We're not proud of any of that. I mean, it's cool that you served your country, but they didn't have a choice. These guys were fighting because they were made to fight. And that's how.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not that old. He was a lot older than me, but he was a good friend of mine.
Right on. And
yeah,
but I feel like
area from being in the jungle and Nam, his feet were all messed up, and I mean,
and it's scary, man. And the PTSD, the stuff is real, man. And I tried so hard to
go into that. He was doomed.
Absolutely. So what we're doing is we're trying to educate folks. We're trying to show people stuff, and then so when I found out that they like, it was really fucked up. The whole situation was fucked up. So my grandmother's not next to kin. You know what I'm saying? She's not. So when he died, they basically banned her from the funeral. None of us were allowed at the funeral. Okay. So then they take his ashes and all his shit and they put it in this storage unit, and we can't even get it. The man's in a storage unit. We can't get it. It's ridiculous. So then I was told that if I kept pushing and pushing, there'd be shenanigans had about it. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, whatever, I'm done. I'm tired. I can't cry anymore. I can't suffer through it anymore. I'm going to put it down on paper. That's it. You know what I mean? So it all came out, man. And it came out, and it just kept coming.
Did you ever get his ashes?
No. My grandmother's dealing with it now. I'm not even involved.
Dirt cheap.
Right. Yep. I'm not doing it no more because
I'm like,
it became a legal conversation.
Right up in that place and get them.
It really did. It became a legal conversation, and I wasn't in the place to have it. You know what I'm saying? So
right. I'm not talking about legal at all. I'm talking about some guys that got vests.
Right,
they just walk up
there like whatever they want. You know what I mean? Trying to
just take whatever they want.
I'm with you. So anyway, so what we did is I made peace with the situation. I did. I made peace with it. I made peace with everything going on. I'm of the opinion that less walks with the Great Spirit. And that's how I feel about it. And people can, take that.
Look, he's directing you to people like me who can
absolutely
hook up with people like Manny and make this shit flow. He's got this. Don't worry about it.
I'm 100%. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it. I'm 100% in believing that. So then we're gonna go down. We're gonna do the show. We're gonna interview her. She'll tell you guys about all the tribal gathering stuff she does and all that fun jazz. I'm working on, Kyle actually was working on getting Gary Lightfoot, the main character from the Indian in the Cupboard, to write a review about the book, because he was one of the first people to get it. His likeness is used on Kyle's cover. Beautiful piece, and he was such a nice guy when he reached back out. We're just trying to get him to write a review right now to actually use, because like I said, when people bring stuff up, I don't use anything to further my own ends. You know what I mean? So it's like I write about all kinds of nationalities. I write all about different religions and different faiths and stuff. It just happens to be this particular one was ours. That's what we started with. You know what I mean? And we move into the other ones. You know what I mean? But some people want to get in and ask questions, and they want to be like DNA test. And if you want to pay for it, we'll go. You know what I mean? I'm okay with that. I got no qualms. My grandmother's like 80-something years old, though. You're not sticking her. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but it's a fun thing to see the people that do back your situation. Like Manny. Manny was like over the moon that you had introduced us. You know what I mean? And his own situations. You know what I'm saying? The fact is, the guy's a vet. The guy's dealt with a lot of shit that I'm talking about. You know what I mean? So it was a very good place for him to be able to put his own
like,
outfit.
come on, the day it had to be the first time I talked to you. I was like, no, you have to meet.
Yep.
My
And it's been a really cool experience. I'm really interested to see what John thinks. He's like, I'm going to read it again. I can't wait. Beautiful. I love it. I love that. You know, I'm an advocate of everybody we work with, like on such a level that it's bananas. Like if you ask the guys that get comp books from us, everybody gets at least like 10 comp books from us. You know what I mean? They're getting comp books. They're getting stuff signed for family members. You know what I mean? Or whatever else. I love expanding this. Okay. Now, I told you last night when we were talking, I was like, I don't need any cut of this. You guys just take care of these guys. You know what I'm saying? And that's where my heart is, because eventually, like I said,
that was the same way, and the same way with the indie book too.
Yeah.
I know that there's a per page payoff at the end, you know, and it's like that's not the money ain't where I want you guys all get yours. You guys are doing the work. I'm just over here talking and throwing ideas here and there and talking.
Oh my God, you messed me up with that idea of doing that, because it got in my head, and like I've been writing it since we talked about it originally, and now it's like I don't do anything that's not in color, so all of a sudden it's like shenanigans. You know what I mean?
No, that's like, look, the black and white release is like we get to redo that in color.
Right.
But if you really want the first appearance of, it's gonna be that black and white Indie Vault Revolt. You see what I'm saying? It's like that's gonna be the first appearance if we get to that 200 backer thing.
Right. Even if we don't, I'm writing it anyway. I'm gonna do this regardless. Even if
I know, but I'm saying it's like if that was like the first appearance of it in black and white, okay, first appearance, then we get to re-release it in color as we go forward. But that's still at least 200 people got that in their hands.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Well, like there's something to be said, okay, about all of that. There's something to be said about a bunch of the things that we're pushing for, you know, in the industry right now. One of the biggest things that I've done, and I'm very proud of, is the fact that we're moving into other languages. I'm very, very proud of that. You know,
did you tell Danny about that too?
I don't know that I told Danny about that.
Danny actually was really happy about somebody who did their book in Spanish as well, so that he could give it to his grandfather, and his grandfather could read it too.
Hell yeah! Well, so like at the end of one of the first things I told the guys, and I'm pretty sure it was David Acampo first. I swear I'm pretty sure it was David Acampo. He was like, "Hey man, are you gonna release it in Spanish?" It was either him or Eric, one of them, you know, one or the other. But you guys have to understand that the majority of our team, English wasn't their first language. You know what I mean? So to be able to go into book 3 and go, "Hey, look, we're going to do a trade paperback of 1 through 3. We're doing it in Spanish and we're doing it in French." You know, I'm very excited about that. Like, because the French population of comic book readers is huge as well, and they don't get a lot of love from the stateside. So I'm definitely want to make sure that we're looking out, you know, for our French speaking brethren.
And they also would enjoy that work, because it is kind of gives that, you kind of in like the listener and stuff, you've got that, it's got that European art feel to it, which I really, really freaking dig.
For sure, and I appreciate that, man. You know, I think that Eric joining the listener was a godsend, because he embodies everything that I wanted in a partner to work with. And that to me is essentially what Eric is in the listener. He's my partner. You know, he was the first dude that started talking about having faith in the book. He was the first guy to be like, "Hey, look, bust your ass on it. It's going somewhere. It's doing something. Just keep working at it." You know, when we started doing, when we were going to get an ad campaign, an ad team together, the first thing that he said was, I was like, man, I don't know if I have the money for that. You know what I mean? It's expensive. I don't know if I have the money for that. And he was like, look, I'm telling you, we need advertisement. We need it. I said, okay. And he was like, you can put off paying me and pay the ad team. Get it done. And I was like, are you sure? He was like, yeah, we need to get this off the ground. And even after a successful book one, he was like, this is what we need to do. We're going to push forward. This is how we're going to do it. And I was like, all right. So we just kept plugging, man. We just kept working. And now, like right now, he's working on book 3, interiors for book 3 right now. So it'll be done. At the end of the Kickstarter for Greed, we'll have like a 3-week break, and we'll be right into the Kickstarter with the listener beginnings. Right into it. So I mean, there's something to be said about people that give a shit about you. Like I said it at the beginning of this program. I'll say it till the end of my days. Take care of your team. Your team is going to take care of you. That goes from promoters to artists to writers to everybody in between, to letterers to cover dudes to editors. That's everybody on your team. If you build a foundation, they'll carry you and you'll carry them. It's a beautiful thing to watch too, man. When a bunch of people get together and they have faith in the same shit, it's a beautiful thing to watch. I told a guy the other day, he was like, I don't know if I can do this with a buddy of mine. He had another project going. He was like, I don't know if I get along with so and so on his team. And I was like, look, I'm gonna say this, and I'm only gonna say it one time. I'm thankful all my dudes get along. All my team gets along. But I'll say this: even if they didn't all get along, I had 170 employees at one time. Okay, I treat my job and my workplace like a sandbox. All right. When school was out, you had certain people at the sandbox at one time, certain people at the sandbox at another time. You keep Jimmy on the swings, Bobby on the Ferris wheel. They don't have to be together at the same time, but they all believe in the goal. They all believe it. You know what I'm saying? Keep everybody situated. As long as you're good to folks, people are going to be good to you. They don't all have to get along, but they all believe in that goal. And he was like, are you serious? I was like, I'm dead serious. Just don't put them in the same room. They can email each other and be cordial. It doesn't hurt. They all believe in the product. But like I said, I'm thankful because I got crazy folks like Phil, and they all get along. My guys are bullshitting for no reason, just to be bullshitting in my fucking stuff, messaging each other just to shoot the shit, and it's phenomenal, man. It's awesome. That's the only way to explain it. It's straight awesome. And you know what? Book 2 started right here in the Madness. That's where it began. Greed, right here in the Madness. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that anybody's done all the insanity like everybody did with Mojo. Not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is I met a bunch of cool motherfuckers in this here chair, in this here little area, and they've all been real good folks.
Everybody involved in the creation and everything with Mojo, I love all of them.
That's right. That's right.
Look, probably mine.
That's right. There's a lot of love for a lot of people.
I have to protect the 2,000 people in my group.
That's right.
That's I love them guys. And
right
they know, look, it ain't like I tore shit down off the wall and had me a big old bonfire in the backyard or none of that, I mean, they're my people. That's look,
right.
Watch created Pops Van Zandt. He
right.
took my nickname and he built an alter ego that he created a character around in the book. I was fucking flattered. It was awesome. I was excited and I wanted it to succeed. Sue me.
So my thing with with the character of Crom, okay, and I'll talk about it a little bit because I love the idea. I love the concept of Crom. I think that
what we got to do? We got to get Edwin out here and ask him where he came up with the idea for that little comic reading freaking troll in the original Comic Related Madness logo that turned into all this, like this guy in the corner
Right on.
I'm over here now
Right
and
on.
everything, you know?
Well,
It's like,
so in the 80s, I was addicted to, well, practical effects were more, prevalent in the 80s with
Yeah.
movies and stuff. And
Oh, you're going to practical effects. I'm listening.
so most people know that I have a degree in engineering. I'm a graphics engineer. That's what I came from. And when you go into in the 80s, we had movies like The Ghoulies. Okay,
right?
Ghoulies was huge, especially when the second one came out. The first one wasn't as big, but when you had Ghoulies Go to College, it was put out, and it was amazing to me. It was amazing, but it was practical effects. Okay, Crom reminds me of a ghoulie. Then you get Gremlins. Okay, Crom reminds me of an earless gremlin. Okay, that's what he reminds me of.
There you go.
Um,
Go ahead. Sorry.
but as we go through that, there were more and more movies that fed off the practical effects and the little monsters and stuff like that. Now, I when it came to making Cade, I needed the big ears. The big ears were important to me. I don't know why. Don't ask me why they were important, but I wanted the big ears. The big ears, the hundreds of teeth. Just the nasty little attitude. And as you get into seeing Crom, I was like, he resembles Pops. And everybody laughed at me when I said it at my house. And it was like, he really does. And it's not because he's balding or he's, anything like that. It's because of the fact that I imagine the character carries himself the way drunk Pops would carry himself. And that's where I see it. I feel like Pops has a drunk persona. It's an entirely different character
Have you
altogether.
seen me out here drunk before?
I've seen you pretty lit. I didn't say you were drunk when I saw you.
No, that last ladies' night, I was doing after 10 o'clock. I did a shot for every lady that came in the stream. Dude, I was pretty lit at the end of the night. I ain't gonna lie.
So what I'm saying is,
I'm just saying, you got a 20-minute, 30-minute video. You can go get all the drunk pops you want.
Well, I feel like I do feel like that. I feel like we all have our own personas. So one thing that we talk about in the listener, and Les used to say all the time, and it blew people's mind. Les in his truck. He had no mirrors. He had no mirrors, and everybody was like, "Well, why doesn't he get pulled over?" Well, the guys in the neighborhood and stuff, and the police in the area knew that he drove with no mirrors. It's a religious thing with him. You know what I mean? But he believed that when you looked in the mirror, you could see the dark side of yourself. That's what you would see when you looked into it. And I believe that Crom is the nasty side of Pops, like the drunk, nasty side of Pops. And that's how I'm writing it.
Now, let me go ahead and go there. I'll go there with you because I quit drinking things that made me icky a long time ago. Right? I only drink stuff that makes me happy drunk.
No whiskey then.
Okay. Yeah, I don't drink things that make me ugly. Right,
for sure.
So you'll get. I'm all good with that. Go ahead and depict the ugly drunk Pops.
I think that's what
the happy drunk Pops is this Pops.
Right, absolutely.
Then there's Everclear Pops.
There you go. Yeah, Bill knows. I drank moonshine all day for my son's wedding. I was drinking moonshine. I was lit.
When you popped.
I was having a good old time, boy.
So with that character being what he is, I feel like he's the perfect, almost like anti-Cade. Okay, because Cade. Because we're not going to go into spoilers with my character while we're talking about this, but Cade has his own personality and his own thoughts on a lot, just like any other character, right? But Cade's also a dick, like to the 10th power type of deal, So when you get this nasty little mean drunk, he comes in and introduces him to like dick to the 10th power. It's not the kindest meeting between words. You know what I mean? There's a lot of words minced back and forth between the little guy that doesn't want to be where he's at and the guy that's supposed to be where he's at. because I have an idea that we haven't really spoken on. About you ever watch that movie Freaky Friday?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I've got some interesting ideas going on right now. So, but at the same time, I'm trying to fill. Originally it was 8 pages. Now I'm trying to fill 32 pages. So it's a little different. But I'm excited. I'm excited to show you guys what's up. I'm excited to show you guys, a different side of, writing. All kinds of really, really cool stuff. So we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. We'll see what everybody thinks. I'm gonna pass out in like a minute and a half, probably. I don't know that I'm gonna make it much longer than that.
Oh, darn it.
I do appreciate you guys very much, so like with all my heart. Everybody has been so cool to me, so cool to back the books. Been really excited about it, and it's given us the opportunity. And that's what I was talking about earlier. It blows my mind that people give up. Don't give up.
Know who that is? Who could that
What?
possibly be using my real name?
Just keep grinding, man. Keep grinding.
Oh man, we are.
I'm on to the next page, man.
Look at you. Look at you killing it, man. How many more do you have for that book?
6, 7 more pages.
Man, look. All I know is Phil's about to tear up this cover. I'm really excited about it.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, there's something really cool to be said. At the end of the day, at the end of it, when the dust is settled, we have a team that we're all taking care of. I'm really excited about your characters. You know what I mean? I really am.
I don't know who that is. I can't even find them on Facebook. I can't find the Facebook that they're on. I don't know who it is. I don't know.
But like I said, I'm about to dip out in just a second, but I do want you guys to understand that there is a way to do things, right? I'm incredibly excited about that. I really am, about the cool symbolism and stuff. I'm really excited. I will check that out before I go to bed, if they're up before then. But there is there's something to be said about people that are getting into this industry, right? They're looking to start something. They're looking to, build something. All I want to tell you, man, from the bottom of my heart.
Yo, that's Edwin. That's Edwin. That's our text right there. What's up, brother?
Oh man, he's incredible. We've already talked about him tonight. He's incredible.
Yeah, we was talking about him just a little while ago, wasn't we?
But what I'm saying is,
well, what Dustin was saying, go ahead, Dustin.
Right, is to be, to understand that you work with a team of people that are living, breathing people, just like yourself. Expect, have your expectations, but also give them your expectations. Let them know as a team what you need, what you can do for them, how you can help them. You know what I mean? You can't be at any side of this table and act like it's a square table. Because in this business, it's all a round table. Everybody.
Well, I mean, for the people that it's working for, it's a round table.
That's what I'm getting to at the end of this very, very last bit of this. I mentioned earlier it took me $6,000 to put my book down. $6,000. It's a lot of money. Okay, but I want you guys to come into it with an understanding and an expectation. Not everybody makes it. Not everybody gets there. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter how hard you push. It doesn't matter how hard you try. It doesn't work for everybody. But don't get down if it doesn't work the first time.
Right.
I am one of the few that made it the first time. Don't beat yourself up. Get up, try it again. How many times right? Somebody posted about the fact that look at Todd McFarlane, right?
Oh yeah, there's
Todd
a good
McFarlane.
example.
How many times was the guy, put down and told no, it wasn't a good idea? You know what I mean? It took him so many times.
How many rejections letters that he sent out?
Right, man.
over and over and over again. It's an incredible amount. I can't remember the number.
Right.
Man.
So you push and you work through it and you bust your balls and your butt and whatever you need to do to get where you're going. But it doesn't always work.
Where it's at. You evaluate it.
Right.
See what you need to change. See what you don't need to change, and just keep rolling, man.
I'll support anybody that asks of me. I am putting it out there. If you want to talk, if you're in this industry and you just want somebody to shoot the shit with, let me know. I'll give you all I can give you. And because it's been done to me.
I got
Dustin definitely has a good ear to bend, man.
I appreciate that.
I enjoy our conversations.
Absolutely, man. They're incredible. I try to be the best friend I can be. I may not be able to be friends with everybody like I can with Phil or with Pops or with the rest of my team, but I tell you what, I'm not going to be a stranger to you. If you want to talk and you want to talk the industry, you want to have questions, don't be scared to ask questions, right? Don't, because
Justin told me tonight. He's like, "Hey, man, anybody wants to come out in the stream and talk? It's cool." So it's just like that. If you see Dustin out here on one of my shows, and you want to join the stream out here with us and drop the shit, come on,
absolutely, man. Because I believe, like I said, I'm not that kumbaya guy. I'm not. I promise. But at the same time, I do believe in being good to each other. You know what I mean? I really do. I believe that we can help one another if we need to. I am the first person that was scared to ask for help. First person, I'll be honest, scared to ask for help. Didn't know what to do. But now I have a support team. I can call my team. I can message my team, and all of them will listen, and all of them will talk for me. And it's funny. I give my team the ability to speak for me. You know what I mean? Because I trust them. I believe in them. And that's why they're on my team. I challenge you to find guys and girls that are on your team and look out for you. You know what I mean? You got to have people that have your back. Doesn't matter how shitty stuff gets. Doesn't matter. If you're going to have somebody on a cover, you're going to work with somebody, make sure they're cool, man. Make sure they're good with you. You know what I mean? They may not be on every cover, but they need to be your buddy at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Don't do contractors. Make a team. Put your stuff together. Put all the cards on the table.
And regardless, it's like when you're on a team like that, promoting for the team.
Oh man,
everybody on the team. It's like, look, I come out here and I talk about a lot of people. Okay, if I was to like go through here and pick out a team of people that I was gonna focus on, you know what I mean? It's like it would be my closest friends, right? My team, ones that are doing the most for what I'm trying to do.
That's right.
Dustin has a team. Now that team, as long as they're all promoting each other, that shit expands.
Man, we can't lose because we're good to each other. And that's what I'm telling you guys. Get your folks. Build your team. Build your A team. Don't just go out there searching for somebody that's in your budget. Don't do that. Find your team. Find your people. Feel them out. Talk to them. Conversate. Be their friend first.
And while we're on that subject, I've been adding people to the team lately, like Danny Morales, and I just caught a shout out on Twitter, or on Facebook, about my guest co-host for next week, December Lace, out there promoting the show.
There you go.
See what I'm saying? It's like you pick up people that are good for your team.
I love that, Mike. That's awesome, man. I'm glad you love your team, bro. That's incredible. It's
you pick up people that are willing to go out of their way to promote what you're doing and what your team is doing. Right. Everybody on the team,
Yeah, that
kind of caught me by surprise. I'm just out here talking about Monday Madness, and there's my guest host for next week out there promoting next week's show. I'm like, all right, she gets it. That's what
Mike, that is such a cool thing, brother. And I applaud you to the end of days. That is so cool of you. I mean, there are things that we do as a team that are important. You know what I mean? Like I mentioned earlier that we've got like a ton of artists that I couldn't get in my books, but we've added them to Gee's Journal so people could see their artwork and we can publish them. And it's not for the lack of wanting to put them on covers. It's just I don't have enough covers to put you on. You know what I mean? So if I can put you... Yes, absolutely. So and that's the mentality, right? That's the mentality.
Oh, y'all, just hang out for a while. We'll get...
I mean, and I will eventually. I will do all I can to get to everyone.
But he has 30 books written, right?
Man. I've come to this point where I can safely say that I'm doing the best I can. I'm pushing the product the best I can. And when it comes to the books, when it comes to covers, I can't always put you on a cover, but I can find other stuff for you to do. You know what I mean? I can. Promo art, I can put you in other books. You know what I'm saying? Just because I can't put you in what I consider my big two doesn't mean it can't work. You know, four now.
Or
Oh my gosh.
or you
Four
can
now,
take
but-
somebody in you that you know will mesh good. Hey, maybe that person will mesh good with
Right
somebody
on.
else you know.
Right
Like,
on.
you see what I'm saying? It's like, um, I knew you and Manny were gonna mesh just because of who you guys are. It didn't have anything to do with the fact that you were both like in the creative part of this. I figured something would probably come of it, but you guys needed to be friends.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I needed to make sure you and Manny met because you guys paths needed to cross.
For sure.
That's
For sure.
everything that comes out of that is just like bonus,
Right.
a
Absolutely.
bonus, right? The friendship
Well,
is the
hey man,
friendship part.
friendships are very few and far between, right? So good ones are very important. You have to nourish them. You have to take care of them. And I didn't really learn that until I was in my 30s. Like I really didn't, because I had a dude that I invested. So I went to jail for a dude, juvie for a dude, and it was like, so I went to juvie twice. It sucked 2 times, both for assault, and it sucked. And so the first time was self defense for somebody else, and the second time was self defense for somebody else. So it really wasn't my fault. But I can't watch people get beat up. I can't do it. I'm not that person. I don't work well with that. You know what I mean? Whether it's verbally or physically, I'm not good at it. And you can ask Phil. Phil's seen me go, hey, look, I'm not okay with stuff. You know what I mean? It doesn't work for me. And it doesn't matter who it is. It just doesn't work. But so this dude, when I got out of college and stuff, we got hanging out again after we hadn't seen each other in years because I got all kinds of messed up because of him. He like juked with like $10,000 a month, like out of my shop, and it was something I had a hard time trusting people after that.
Right.
And it took me till oh my gosh, it took me about 10 years till we moved, till I was ready to to actually be able to speak to people, and trust people and to bring people into my circle again. And I think comic books is an amazing way to do that, to build relationships and to build friends and to support each other. You've got a Facebook user talking about your phone account. I'll let you have that. And with that, you know what? Someone is always listening.
No, that was me. I was telling Ed when he was talking to me on my phone account. Pop Sealy. That's my cell phone. I don't even use that thing. I don't know why. Remember at the beginning of the show, it went to 3 Facebooks instead of YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
One of them is my other account that I don't even use. It's like, I don't know why.
Gotcha.
Somebody went there. But
Well, I have talked enough shit tonight. I have put my heart out on my sleeve a couple times this evening. I appreciate that, Mike. Shit sucked. It's all better. Life is gravy now. I'm very thankful for everyone. I'm very thankful for the madness. I'm very thankful for the NSC Roadshow. I'm very thankful for Inked Marketing. My editors, my editors are 2 of the greatest people in the world. Between my wife and Phil, they keep me straight. They keep my book straight. And then you've got all the guys doing covers. I mean, holy cow, I can't thank Frank Forty enough for offering to do a cover. I can't thank Rich Parada enough. I can't thank, Justin Hunt enough for getting involved. And those are just the guys that are not in my regular team. So I am reaching out a little bit and thanking them, because my guys know I'm thankful every day. You know what I mean? But there's something to be said, guys. There's something to be said about this business and how we grow, because the indie market's the future, baby. The indie market's the future. We keep messing up. No, you can't hold the world up. You got to have that team up, bro. I swear. But we're getting to this point now where the indie market is being seen, we're being heard, and it's being taken very seriously, even by production companies, big name production companies. So, but you know what? A lot of people say, don't sell out, buy in. I got news for you. Hold your IPs, man. Hold your IPs. Do your best for yourself. do what you can, promote your people, and build your empire, man. Build your empire. You know, we're the listener is going to be seen in a lot of places. We're going to be in 2 stores in Florida before long, at least 2 stores in Florida. So it's like, okay, 2 stores in Florida, 2 stores in the UK. I mean, what's up? Where are we going next? You know what I mean? Put us somewhere next. I'll go to Japan. I'll sign some stuff in Tokyo. Let's do something. You know. But yeah. So anyway, I'm gonna hit the sack, guys. Thanks so much, Phil. I love you, brother. Thanks for showing up
Love
to
you
hang
too,
out.
man.
You know, you guys be good, and everybody else. You know, be good to each other. Stay blessed, man. And we'll talk later.
All
You
right.
know it.
Good seeing you, Dustin. I will talk to you soon, buddy.
Take it easy, guys.
Dustin Brunell, the listener, and greed. I got it right that time. Jeez. It was a long weekend, Phil. You know what
Yeah, I'm still not on my game today, man.
Yeah.
This,
Mike, you have a good day at work, brother. I know you're
Hey,
over there.
Mike.
Your day's just starting. Yeah, I got to get up early with the kids because daughter-in-law picked up a new job. She got out of that damn nursing home.
me, yeah, I had a late start today, man. Like I said, recuperating from the weekend. Felt like when I do all weekend, three days of band gigging in a row, man. I was just like, oh. And I hear bling, bling. I was like,
So
oh my God, that's right. I got to get on the show. Crap.
next week we have Don Chin is coming out,
Oh, cool.
and Aaron Jordan, I think is his name. He wanted to come out and talk about his project. That'll be somebody new, somebody we never met before. That'll be cool. And of course, the beautiful, the wonderful December Lace is going to come co-host as a guest co-host. It's going to be pretty cool. Looking
Cool.
forward to it. But there's also still opportunity for a couple more guests to join in on that show. I'm just throwing it out there. It's like, I I have a hard time scheduling during CromCon week. I have a hard time worrying about what's happening past the weekend. you
Right.
know. So I don't worry about scheduling April 5th, April, 12th, whatever. After CromCon, okay, now I'll start concentrating on April. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
Yeah.
like, so I don't have a whole lot actively scheduled for the Monday Madness shows. Um, I do have one problem that came up. I know I was going to do a launch party for Max, but I know I told you guys a couple weeks ago that we had some electrician dude come through the house that was looking at the wiring, and I guess they're doing some kind of rewiring
Oh,
the
no.
day I was supposed to be doing that launch party. So I don't know. I'll try to figure something out for dude maybe later in the evening or something, But what can I tell you? I don't have no control over what the owner of the house decides to do with the house. You know what I
Ish
mean?
happens, man.
Yeah. So Max, if you're out there, if you're watching, I'll get with you and let you know what's up. But I'm pretty sure the power is gonna be off most all day. Kind of sucks, but you know how that works.
Oh, yeah.
I wish everything was perfect, but damn, dude, there's I know I got other shit too. There's so much written down here.
On your
Um,
paper plates.
let's see, what else do we got? Where's jeez? Well, that was the other day. That was the other day. Let's see. Okay, I think there's an April 15th launch we're doing with Frank for Turkana. Um, yeah, Don Chin and Aaron Henry Jordan are going to be out on the 5th.
Oh, there's a
Uh,
Turkana launch, huh?
yeah, and yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, Max, but Wednesday, yeah, I think it's Wednesday. My son said that the house gonna be all tore up Wednesday or Thursday, one of the 2 days. I think he said Wednesday, but I better double check. He might have said Thursday. It's been a long week, dude. All I know is that the first thing I did was went, oh shit, I got a launch party this week. I hope it don't affect it. So see what happens. We'll do our best to take care of you, though. Phil, as always, it's cool talking to you.
Yes, sir. Fun
Uh,
night, man.
yeah, try not to work too hard, dude.
I just want to get this book out, man. I gotta, I gotta keep up on everything,
Yeah, try not to
Gotta
work.
get to that cover, man. So if I get a page out of the way, it makes it that much quicker. I get to that cover, and that's gonna be fun. I always like working with Rich on
Whoa,
something, man.
when did he sneak into the chat?
Hey, look who it is.
Yeah, all pops and Phil all the time. It feels like it on CromCom weekend, doesn't it? It feels like it on CromCom weekend. It's like, look, those guys are just out there all day, every day. Brian, I'll be taking tomorrow off. I'll probably see you Wednesday morning in the chat on your show because, that's what I do. I'm hoping I get to go hit golf balls tomorrow. That's what I'm hoping. Just like that. Golf balls, baby. So, Lee Reese, I know you're probably not watching either, but we need to talk about fixing the video and getting a new CromCon 13 one ready. CromCon 13 is going to be big, y'all. Tonight we had mm, Mr. Dustin Brunell. It was a good time. It was
Oh
a good
yeah,
time.
Dustin's a good dude, man. I'm glad he pulled me in on that project, man. It's fun with him and Manny and
No, I
Dave.
didn't say Bill gets a day off. I said I'm taking a day off.
Yeah, I don't get a day off, man.
Ah,
I don't get a day
no,
off, man.
no, Bill got work to do, man.
See, this is what's usually happening, Brian. Photoshop is always open, man.
See, there was a time when I first met Bill that he didn't have nothing to do.
Didn't have nothing to do. Well, not as much to do. Let's put it
Yeah, he
that
didn't
way.
have as much to do. It's like now it's like everybody's like, "Yo, can you do this?" Yo, now he's an editor and colorist and a co-host and booking tech and everything.
Oh yeah, I added tech and co-host. Yeah, I was already doing coloring and editing, man. But
I mean, it's all over though. It's everywhere now. You're like, what? 3 different books, 4 different books you're working on, and
yeah, well, it's like
you
that.
know,
As soon as this last year came up, I'm like, well, I've gotten in a position where it's like, well, got the opportunity and try to do this full time. So now, man, I'm just trying to stay busy, man, and it seems like a 12-hour day at least most of the time.
well, I know it's like I don't want. I'd rather have people I'm working with doing this than trying to learn to do all this stuff myself and just me do. You know how miserable I'd be if
Oh
I was
yeah,
trying
well,
to
that's
do
what you
all
feel.
this
You're
stuff
kind of
myself.
like you got to kind of have that editor role or your producer role, man, where you uh you uh you supplement
Just
that stuff out to different people, man.
yeah,
Spread it
when you
all out, makes
delegate
it
work, but
easier on everybody.
it's like delegating work, but at the same
Yeah,
time, it's
there you
not
go.
because people volunteer their time and they volunteer the art that they throw out here and everything. It's like I'm not nobody's boss, you know. Everybody donates what they put out. That's why that
Well,
wall of honor doesn't show financial people that have donated. It shows people that have donated time and art and like Lee in the video and the stuff that he's always helping me out with. All
right,
kinds of
right.
art and shit. He puts in time. You know, I mean that wall of honor ain't just about money. It's about people who actually care about what we're doing and they volunteer to help us make it better.
Yeah, we got to
That's
do.
why
We got
you're
to.
on it.
We got to pull Lee in sometime. Haven't seen him on for a while, man.
I want him for the final panel next month.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, no kidding.
I already
Definitely.
talked to him. He's checking his schedule. Yes, I really want. I think that would be a great show, and if we get it all lined up early enough to promote it, we can have a whole lot of fun that night, dude.
Oh yeah.
Whole lot of fun playing people's music, talking about their books. Yeah, I think it could be real big. That's kind of like I'm kind of highlighting that. the Polito interview on Saturday and the final panel on Sunday. That's kind of like, you know, those are my highlights for CromCon April, baby. Be there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I got to get up early with the kids tomorrow, like I say, because the daughter-in-law starts a new job tomorrow. I'm real happy about that. I get to hang out with grandkids before school. It's always fun. Always fun.
Oh yeah.
Go back to work, Phil. I'm gonna go. Maybe give me a bite to eat. Oh, you know what I gotta do? I gotta catch up on that. Man, they covered the Bristol track with dirt and raced there today.
Oh yeah.
I gotta watch that. That had to have been hilarious. I gotta watch it. So, you know,
Not
I
about
think
the
I'm gonna
most.
go do that right now.
Most I'll do is probably catch up on a little bit of stuff that from yesterday that I didn't get to, and while I sit here and work, man, and my eyeballs bleed from staring at the screen so long.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll enjoy a day off tomorrow. Y'all, I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Have a good day tomorrow. Take it easy, Phil. I'm all the way out, bro.
Cool.
All right.
Peace out.